right after the big kahunas and Brendo sign off. So expecting big things today, Predley.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, Sharif, obviously, for reminding the viewers. For anyone interested, we're going to talk about all the market moves from today and potential moves from tomorrow. It is the end for our show. I'll let Sharif sign off for us. I'll see you guys at 4.
It's going to be the same bat time and the same bat channel tomorrow. Brendo's at the big desk.
Hey guys, welcome in. Yeah, 2 o'clock on a pretty flat, let's be honest, kind of a Tuesday afternoon shaping up here. We went down initially. We come right back up to basically flat for the NASDAQ right now, a little bit red. For the S&P 500 overall, 0.37 downside, about 0.5% at this point for the Dow. NASDAQ, as I mentioned, back to basically flat. Crude, 1.6%. Nice pop there for Bitcoin and Ethereum, 4% now for Bitcoin, Ethereum, 2.4% back to the upside. That's how the overall S&P looks right now. We'll touch on Tesla a little bit coming up here. Elon speaking with Prime Minister of India apparently today, talking about maybe setting up shop in India as well. GNRC, the biggest gainer from the morning, still hanging on to 6.5%. Look at CRM there, a nice day, 2% to the upside. 2%, or better part of 2% for NVIDIA as well, back to the upside when the rest of the semiconductor group under pressure here, led by the clean energy names, SEDG, Enphase, downside, both in a big way, 5 and 7%. Hardware equipment makers also under pressure, so it is tech that leads downside today. PayPal here, 3.8 to the upside on that KKR note this morning. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up as well this afternoon. Everything else pretty red. Energy, material stocks, both getting hit this afternoon. Here's a communication services group as well. We saw some of the streaming names under pressure this morning. Paramount there down better part of 3%. Warner Brothers as well, 3.6%. Under pressure. Little bit of positivity here. That's the healthcare equipment group. In the healthcare group, overall consumer staples and consumer durable names are a little bit positive. As well as we get going on a Tuesday afternoon, I wanted to show you this kind of interesting chart I was looking at just before we came on. So this is S&P 500 stocks over their 200-day. We're now to 60% after this move. So 60% of the entire S&P 500 back above. I'm all tangled up in wires here this afternoon. 60% of their S&P 500 listed names back above their 200-day average. So pretty strong as we've been discussing for the overall market. Obviously, it's been led by the NASDAQ. We'll touch on not only the S&P, but the NASDAQ coming up here. Frank Caberna coming up in under 45 minutes. We'll get set for this Wednesday testimony that's coming up from Fed Chair Powell. He's going to be talking in Washington at the Senate Banking Committee. It's the semi-annual testimony coming through from Fed Chair Powell. So that's kind of the next stop as far as the Fed is concerned. We have 74%, still 74, 75% chance of a quarter point coming through in July in a few weeks when we get going as well. If you're with us this morning, we discussed a whole bunch of things as far as individual movers this morning. Some of the Chinese ADRs were downside initially, but immediately, made that move back to the upside. This is CIBC. The guys on the midday there were talking about CIBC a little bit, but not much reaction to that news coming through. I was going to check the Canadian side of things, but let's kick things off with Alibaba, as we did this morning. They announced their chairman and CEO is out. They will announce a new one to come in the coming days. And I mean, we saw all of these gap down, and then it was nothing but straight to the upside as soon as the market opened.
I don't know if Baba gapped down and then flushed. There was a bounce in Neo for sure, but I mean, Baba on its own, that one just gave it up pretty much right away. It was over under 90. I kind of told myself, if it trends underneath 90, have that one, but it just moved down so fast. Really, I didn't want to be chasing it down at 89 even. Or position, I got to take a fill, and then our position board can light up there. Have a couple of things on already. We'll get to those in a quick second. I don't know if there's going to be a trade in Alibaba this afternoon, given that it's got that 87 bottom. I feel like if you were playing off of that level, you're now waiting for another test of the low. It has to go to a big level to trade a Chinese ADR in the afternoon. You know how they go. I had Pinduoduo. I'll lament it a little bit. It did the breakdown through 75. I had it way too tight of a stop. I could have jumped back in. It was a bit of a flat bottom break, not a gigantic one at 75 even. So I had it early, but stopped it out when it whipped back up. I would have had to hold it over $1 against me. The reload, the re-entry was probably the way to go here. Like not take it 930, let it calm down, and then take the 75 when it goes for good. So it was the right idea. Level was right, down 8%. It was weak as expected. Just did not have it right there. I was looking for the breakdown trade. I always have a tight stop on a breakout or a breakdown early. I'm never going to just hold on to that one into oblivion. So yeah, PDD was a bit of a disappointment for me. We made sure we contained it. And quite frankly, sometimes the direction can be good, but you have to give it some time to matriculate. And that one settled down after 9:30, 9:40 or 9:50 or so and set back up. I think it's always a good idea if it gets to 10 o'clock and the morning rush is done, you go over some of your original ideas, like what's still holding up and makes some sense at the prices that we're sitting at. And if you find that you have something still valid, like that 75 under was, just jump back into the trade because that was available at 10:10.
Okay, just quickly here, we don't talk too much about crypto, but I just tweeted out right now that we, come over to the screen right now. Okay, on, how about that?
By the way, I'm about to get stopped out
no,
of
my
coin
mic was-
at 57.
Oh, that's right.
Because if it's plugged
My mic
in,
wasn't even turned on.
but when it's plugged in, even if it's on, it automatically mutes.
Here
I did
am
not know that.
Yeah, it wasn't muted that time, but that now we're good. I'm sitting here just like, oh yeah, waiting to talk, whatever. I don't even have my mic on. It's not even like not even out of the charger.
I didn't even notice, to be
no,
honest.
notice. I mean, I'm sitting here ready to talk. Okay, so shout out to everybody there. We just bought some Cardano right now, down at 26 cents. We'll see if Cardano can get going right now. What I want to talk about quickly was we got run over early on AMD right here, and I just tweeted this out. But this is the thing. Stick with what you're doing. Understand that, hey, in the first couple minutes here, we talked about getting run over. We're almost made it all back. Almost every single dollar that we lost right there. Because this, I wasn't super confident. So this moved down. We didn't have the full piece on it that we lost there. But then we reshorted it at VWAP, and then we've just been reshorting it again all the way out here. This shows my last fill at 118.50. Right? Check this out where we're at right now. We just got a 118 flat fill right there on AMD. So this is what we've been doing since we've been gone. Right there, 119, 119.20, straight there to the downside. So real trading right here by real traders. Downside move there in AMD during lunchtime. So just hit all this up here. Nice downside move if it's trying to bounce off right now. And then we're also short Google, still 50 cents in the money. We just put that on at 130 as well. And that's kind of barcoding. I feel like we should take something out here around 123. But BABA, I don't have any trades. I have nothing on any Chinese ADRs today. We're staying in our lane and we're well positive today. So today, Ice Cube and Iced Tea and Iced Everything is a good day.
Messy, MGOL stock. I mean, it has nothing to do with soccer. It's a clothing line, but hi, guys. Can we? Yeah, there we go. MGOL, up 24%, just popping back to the upside as we speak, even on some decent volume. July 21st, going to be his first game with Miami. And I was going to mention to you, my brother-in-law has season tickets to TFC.
Oh,
Hot
baby.
ticket now.
Okay, well, your brother-in-law and I are going to have to get acquainted, Brento. But no, in all seriousness, Inter Miami looking to pick up some more people. I think Sergio Busquets on there as well, Brento. But with respect to PayPal.
Yeah, go for it.
This was an interesting look today. KKR is a company that I had personal experience with. My dad having worked for a company that was bought out by KKR, and I know intimately how they operate, and they are very much looking to modernize and take advantage of what they call arbitrage opportunities. So interesting look here, how PayPal's kind of given up on the buy now, pay later, in Europe at least, and KKR taking it for a fraction of the cost, Brendo, here, $45 billion for about $1.5 billion.
Still not a bad day here on that note this morning, as if you missed it, for PayPal and KKR.
It's still upside. I actually tried the long up at 69 for a breakout trade and had to slap the L on it. The early breaks were off 68, so that's what we were taking. Got it 68.5 and then stopped out. Same thing happened in the afternoon, 68 to 68.5 and stopped out. Went for the long up top, and that didn't work out off of 69 even. It is a nice trend into the upside. Would have been nice to grab 67s, obviously, as a double bottom. And this is sort of the thing. dip buys off consolidations, always a little bit better of an entry for a hold than a breakout trade, because I'm never wanting to hold a breakout as far as it might retrace against you. Like that 68 break, what are you going to hold it to 67.20? No, 80 cents, I mean, on a $67 stock, that's a bit much, quite frankly. So you look for those dip buys off previous resistance, and that can definitely line up. So there's 67 on Friday was the high. You saw it hold the line at 67. It's all about refining the trade. Like you can like the long, and it's a good trend, but it's a little bit easier to hold that trend if you're playing consolidations than just taking the top end breaks. Decent enough scalp trades when you do have them. That was Coinbase that just went through the high. I guess we're not really, I'll go right to Coinbase, then we can continue down. But Coinbase, if it does hold about 57, here's the double top on the 15-minute, 57.5 this morning, 57.5 last week. So it can still have some resistance upside, but I was in front of 57 even, just short. And I'll try again off 57.5, just looking over to make sure that we're not above 28,000 on BTC. So I'm essentially shorting the top on Coinbase as long as Bitcoin hasn't broken 28.
They've had a couple moves right here, including HUD8 making a nice move today as well. HUD8 up 20%, even more than that at its highs. Now it's just falling down right now. HUD8, big move. Of course, these guys mine the different altcoins converted over to BTC, but it's HUD8 right now. Nice move off the bottom. We talked about this one down here when it was $1.30 or so, talking about buying it and then getting out if it breaks $1. You've been well rewarded on that ratio right there. 30 cents for about $1.30. So far, so good as HUD8 looks to go back to the upside. This is a name that I'm invested in, I should say, into HUD8. So I do have some altcoins. We talked about buying some Cardano. What are we talking about here? PayPal. Look, we mentioned this a couple weeks ago that I thought PayPal could have been bottoming out here. We talked about this at 60. It was a risk. I didn't buy any more. I'm still in this name from a long time ago. But yeah, nice little bottom there, and now continues to work to the upside. PayPal, although I said it last week, doesn't have much business, I don't think, in Canada. But as you just heard right now with KKR, lots of business there in Europe. I don't know about the buy now, pay later stuff. I'm nervous about it because Apple's, they have the financing program and things like that. But you know what? There's many more companies out there than just Apple. So let's wait to see what happens with PayPal here. I think it's a good long, and it looks like people are being rewarded for taking that risk. I feel like the minute that you broke above this 65 area, 66, it's just been, and it's only been a couple of days, but that was sort of that smiley face that Michael Noss and all the rest talk about there. So you kind of just made that big move down. Now you just kind of smile faced it back up. You complete it right there, and now you get some green shoots back up here to 75 or so. So watch to see what happens once you're in this space. But for me, PayPal just remains a long, and we just got out of some more Google down there for 50 cents. There it is, good move there back. We got out at 08. Now it's trying to bounce upside a little bit now as well. But there's Google with the downside move. Coming up next is PLTR.
Move initially this morning for Palantir. There was a couple of interesting notes over the past couple of weeks from analysts on Palantir, most of which toward the end of this insane run that it's been on, including this one from Raymond James. I mean, it's a downgrade, but is it outperform to strong buy?
Yeah, and this is what the analysts from
those are almost interchangeable. You could be strong buy to outperform. It doesn't matter.
No, I get it. And he increased the price target on top of that too. So what they're saying is, while we remain enthusiastic about Palantir's positioning in AI, we are downgrading our rating to outperform from strong buy, as shares have ascended in the $12 billion market cap range and appreciated more than 60% since early May, basically saying that this reflects their long-term bullishness, and it's time to ring the bell.
As I was mentioning, crazy move out of the gate here this morning for Palantir, but here we are back towards day lows, guys, now down 3%.
So this is only my morbid. I'll get to Palantir in a quick second, but I just saw over on Binance that BTC went to 27.9999, like all the nines basically, and then pulled back a little bit there. So that's worth watching. Coinbase wants that 57.5 high, it seems like, as well. Palantir, it's about the 17 level. So $17. It's happened now 3 times. It's gotten up there. You had last week. You had Friday. It's a very different trade when it's breaking out into 17, fails the 17 break, and then just flushes. On Friday, you more or less had to have it in the pre-market when it took out 17, so that's a little bit trickier to have on, but it broke out again today, and at 9:30, once it was above 16, we said let it get toward that 17 marker. It got up there, started a reverse. I'll put up the 3-minute chart so you can kind of see this now on Palantir. There we go. So on a 3-minute from the open, it was all green. First red candle comes when it rejects 1685. It makes one more run trying to break that high after the first red candle of the morning. Doesn't get to 17. That's a 1690 top. Short the consolidation under. It ends up falling. I have a bunch out in front of VWAP or at VWAP. And then it's just a trail from then on. You don't really know how far it's going to fall. I wasn't looking to go long or reload it down there because the trend upside definitely could have held. And we just trailed it once it got underneath 16. Anyone that caught the bottom, great. I would have thought once it was underneath 16, I kind of thought, okay, maybe the long's at 15.5, 1540. It looks like 1560 was your jam. So that looks like a bit of a bottom here today. And then if you have 16, kind of like a local high, that could be a bit of a scalp level. If it gets up to 16, maybe short some mid-90s or something like that with a tight stop on Palantir. No longer in it, obviously. But it was a good short off the open. You look for those big levels. That's why I thought coin was worth a swing or a shot at it at these highs, because it's a very similar thing on the higher time frame. Go back over to the 15. Like, you get up to a big key level that it's rejected a couple of times, and you look to see if it's going to reject it again. Right now it's pumping through as Bitcoin continues to try to make a run at that 28. So I might take another shot at coin if it can get back underneath 57.5, only because we are still fading underneath that 28,000 level.
Yeah, so we talk about the upgrades, the downgrades as they keep on coming through. I mean, I really like Palantir. It's just, I feel like, I think Sharif said it there on the midday show, they're kind of just sacrificing their own success with this price, with this move down. And it's like they've had such a big move up to 17, it's just hit it twice right there, that there are going to get some downgrades into this name. I mean, you don't move. Well, I mean, you do move. There are stocks that do this, obviously in a month and a half, doubled up, more than doubled up in a month and a half. So I feel like really we don't need to be concerned about this until about 14 bucks right there. That's going to be a good buy area if you're not into Palantir. I think a lot of good names come back. So watch out for that. We did have John in the chat talk about, where are we going to go long on Palantir. Either we wait for this 16 break or we wait for VWAP, which is a little bit lower now than where it was when we were talking about it. 1607. I mean, right now you're just hovering around the bottom. I'm net short everything, not everything, but I've got Ford, Google, and AMD now short. So I think we'll wait on that, but Palantir definitely a huge move to the upside and just fading back in right now. I'm still trying to watch out for Bitcoin as well. I mean, it's bouncing around pretty good. We have GBTC here. I'm not in this, but this is going to be a good one, and I heard them talk about it on the midday show as well. Look at this straight upside right now on GBTC as Bitcoin. This is up 16%, but there we go. Huge upside move right there. We talked about buying some Cardano, but it's Bitcoin today. What's ETHE doing as well? I mean, it's probably a very similar chart. Doesn't look not as aggressive as GBTC, but still. We're moving to the upside right now on what is Crypto Tuesday here, as a lot of these names really continue to move. Also, HUD8. We talked about that name. There that goes, up 16%. Let's check out what Mara's doing right now quickly. Probably something similar. Yeah, there it is, straight up 12 now. So yeah, big time movements happening here in Cryptoverse. So watch out for your coins and maybe sell some if you've taken some some bottom picks there. Nice move as we head to 30,000 on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I keep getting those alerts. If you have alerts set up on your broker at home, that HUD8 is the one that keeps popping up for me. That's doing all kinds of volume today as well on this crypto move. We were talking about Google, if you joined us this morning on, I mean, there wasn't anything huge, but they're looking to shift more pixel production to India. This was that note I was mentioning at 2 o'clock there on Elon, apparently, briefing Prime Minister Modi in India on their investment plans into that country as well. So India, all the rage these days.
Yeah, and we saw Apple there. Tim Cook was there opening the first Apple store in India. I think it was a couple months ago. So more from American big tech as they look to diversify their production capacity and in different locales for geopolitical reasons. We know about this friendshoring, onshoring, nearshoring, looking to diversify their supply chain.
I mean, Google ended up being a bit of a flat trade overall so far today. Tesla, however, yeah, another day, another 4% here, guys, for Tesla.
Just crashed. Sorry, I was about to, I'm in the short on Apple at 186. It's got two levels. There we go. I can show my 15-minute chart. So 186, bit of a double top there. It's got a 186 top. It's It's held now 3 times forward, really depending on how many times you count it. I'm short at 185.99. The high is 185.10. It just got back to the half level. I scalped some out there, but yeah, we'll see if it rinses and repeats another time. If we get back to the high and start breaking out, I think there's a long above on Apple. So that's the big technique I think has a chance to maybe grind higher. Like the market seems to want to put in a higher low. Apple's just sort of following along. So if you're not trading the futures, Apple's more or less just doing the exact same dance. We get through 186.10, and I think it's time to give up the short on Apple.
Okay, yeah, I don't, we're talking about Google, India. Yeah, I mean, you talked about Google not moving that much today, but it's going to be the number 2 name, I think, P&L-wise for the show today. Good shorts early, right? I mean, we let it rip up. This is where we got run over on AMD, and then boom, we let it come right back, short the VWAP, and then here it is, man. We talked about it joining the dollar club. Well, it's almost joining it again. So we just shorted at the same time every time. 123.60, just came right back in, shorted it again into there. We talked about it earlier today, that it wasn't really joining the club. Like a lot of names have really broken out, some to all-time highs, right? Like a Microsoft and an Apple, but Google's really just hovering down here, nowhere close. So it has a lot of room to go to the upside. But on that note, we traded at Southside, right? I mean, it was weaker than the market. It's down double, right? The beta against it, 0.15 versus 0.6. So it is making the moves down. I like Google as long as we keep failing up here. And there it is right there for the day. You know, this is not the day. This is yesterday, a couple days. But you can see some nice downward trajectory. We'll see it's bouncing right now off 123. A couple good outs down there. But, you know, right here and here, let's just see if we can get back. We'll give this up. I mean, my stop on Google is 123.86. So as you can see, pretty good, man. We take about 20 to 30 cents worth of risk and then just capture 60. So hopefully this can continue to go down. I'm expecting more of a downside move here for Google, especially if this market wants to stay in the red. I feel like Google drifts back to 123 at some point.
All right, the rundown brought to you, as always, by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on this desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link, bottom right corner. Use that QR code on screen right now. Get 25% off until the end of the day today. Shout out to everyone, including our friend Mr. Noss over at Trade Ideas. Spotify, bottom of the list there. Wasn't much to do. I saw a few people mentioning this retest of 159 was a bit of a thing this morning if you wanted to take that short, but they made a I guess, decently big deal out of this Supremium this morning, another tier coming to your Spotify account.
Yeah, investors have been demanding more in the way of new revenue from Spotify, and this is their response. It's not a new idea, to be honest with you. It's something that's been recycled. They put it on the back burner because Apple released it for free, and so did Amazon. So I don't really get why they're releasing it here expecting to make money out of it.
Yeah, it should be, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what price they slap on this, but I'll pay it. Guys, will you?
Yeah,
I already get it for free with Apple, but
no, I won't pay it. But you know what? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you can get away with paying for an upside service, I'm sure they've done their research on this, and they're confident that they're going to get people to pay it. I would say it ended up being like it wasn't necessarily a sell the news as much as it was a false breakout. So if you come to the daily chart, you can see it got above 160. You were trending up. You broke 160. By the time things had settled down in the morning, at the open, you were right back underneath that gap up close. So you closed at 160. You gapped up above it. You simply failed the breakout. That's what I see. I see a failed breakout of a fresh high, and then a trend down after that. So whether it's sell the news or whatever you want to call it, didn't trade it. I said the trade I would have had on Spot would be, okay, reclaim 160. If this is actually good news, show me. And then it's a 161 break of the high, and it's a trend on a breakout in the daily. That didn't happen. You can see it was only a short sell. I did jump back in a corner. I said I would take another swing at it at that 57.5. So it just got up there. There's your wick through the high of the day. Just shorted it. Got one out there at 57.25, and looks like it still wants to trend a little bit back into the upside. I'm going to get to Virgin Galactic in a second, but there's a lot of people that have been asking about Mullen all day long. I didn't realize that this was doing what it was doing, quite frankly. I'll be angry with myself because Mullen, while not having a good day since the reverse split, obviously rejecting at the open, look at the flat bottom when it breaks 20 flat. Like 20 cents flat was about and it never really threatened against you. Like, it just broke 20, and then that was it. Like, just stair steps to the downside, like every cent or so, even a couple of cents, the initial move. That's pretty much gold for a day trader. If you can grab that, I don't even know if we have to pay for locates, but generally speaking, it's free or ridiculously cheap. I don't know if I want to touch this now, but yeah, you look for a flat bottom break on an even trade like that at 20 cents. That was clean. You could have had the 21 break, although that was not as clean because it had already taken it out at about 11 o'clock. So yeah, crazy move over there on Mullen. I'm still in that Virgin Galactic short at $6. The only downside to that was to Virgin Galactic was I was punting around with it at 550, and then again at 580 on this wick to the high, and then finally it got to $6, which we were waiting for, and we put the $6 trade on. I cannot seem to break VWAP, but we've managed to get almost all of it out anyway. So I'm now holding the last 5% of Virgin Galactic as it bounces off of VWAP. But wow, that Mullen. Maybe there's a 15 level that has some size on it that might be tradable, but it is definitely in play today. A lot of times people ask about Mullen and we're like, yeah, it's not really doing anything. Today it is.
Yeah, we often do get that question. We could talk about Tesla quickly. We did have Tesla long today. It's on the sticky note as our best idea. And there it was right there, 264. Where's the sticky note? It's right here. Number one name on there, 264 long, and it's at 271, and we don't have it anymore. So we tried the short, made some money there on the short as well, and the long until we got out of it once it broke 263 to the bottom side. But that was a good trade. They're taking $250 there as our best out on Tesla. Shorted it again, got out, made money here. I don't know, like we got out of the way. That was lucky. Not lucky, but we had our plan. And then now straight upside right now, looking to take out 271. Wow, Tesla just continues to move, and what a great story this has been for the last couple of days, up another 4% here today. But yeah, there it goes. Wow, it's just like it just wants to keep on going right now, up and away. Yeah, so we got out of some. We're done the board now. If you guys want to take that down, we are right now. AMD's trying to make a move back up to the upside. We did have a bunch of covers down here, just now bouncing off 118.65. So we'll see if there's any sort of a play there. I'd rather wait for this high to come back again, but that's going to be Advanced Micro Devices right now. Just trying to find some more trades or some more opportunities here today. A name that we're actually red on is Amazon. Yeah, we went long and then eventually, yeah, so it's just fighting it here. We're not really red. I mean, we are red on it, you know, to be honest with, obviously, as we're being honest. But just because we got dumped out right there. Again, averaged in, don't have good prices and out. And now I'm thinking about sort of the, oops. Yeah, we have that bad wick down there, so got to get off of it. Will that even help? Right now, Amazon with a nice little bump up as we watch the. I mean, the futures are going to try to get back to that 15.3 again, so that's going to be a problem. But Amazon right into here isn't looking like a horrible short, but I'd prefer the long off VWAP right here. We've seen it bounce once, twice, 3 times. So if Amazon can get back down to 125.80 or so, I feel better about that trade. We'll have to wait. I mean, I'm happy just sitting in what we have right now. And then possibly reloading AMD when we get a little bit higher. So, yeah, so far so good here. People talking about SoFi a little bit. I mean, Coinbase is running here, I see as well.
So we actually broke 28,000.
Oh,
so
did we finally? Okay.
So what the interesting thing is, normally, if this pattern was happening and we're beneath 28,000, I might be reloading this trade because it keeps wicking above without breaking the high, and then you're able to scalp some out. Well, I didn't reload because we're above 28,000. It did it a third time, so you could have been taking this 20, 30 cents in the range. I'm not going to do that. If it breaks the top, there's a decent chance it could run a little bit. So pretty strong move. And then I was asked by Jason in the chat, is it a reload on Virgin Galactic if it gets to 6? You have to consider, like this is an upward trending stock with a 22% or whatever it is short interest, which is up 23%, which is holding a higher low. If it gets back to 6 even, it could just break it. And were it to break 6 even, just pop the daily chart up and see that it might be headed straight towards 660. So if you're determined to only short it because you don't want to get caught chasing along up at the top, if 6 goes, I'd say it has room to go another 10%. And then it gets to a level which, while maybe not a psychological level, is a bigger level on the daily chart. So I'm not going to reload it at 6 even if it gets there. I think you got to be very patient with the levels you want to take on this. It's trend upside, right? Like how many things, sometimes you want a short weakness or a key level, but that level's already come and gone, and it's worked. So to go back there again, to me, it's kind of risking it. Even if I did, it would be for less than we took. when we took that original 6. And I'd say like a third at the absolute most. What else we got that's moving on? Meta won't stop. Meta's the high of the day.
What?
Is it?
Could be. Let me look.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah,
You know what? I had this at a breakout of 82, and then it didn't work immediately, and I got out of it. I should have come back and maybe revisited that trade because I was kind of one and done off that level. Like if it went from like short off the high to a flip long, like what am I doing? It's noon. That's not the time to take the breakout trade. Well, the time to play off the level is after it settles down, and look at it settle down. Where are we going on Meta here? If you pop to last week, Meta got to, it was 87 was the high. So we got to like an 87, actually no, never mind. It almost got to 88 on Friday. Wow, that's higher than I thought. For some reason, I didn't realize it went all the way up there. So this has some serious room to go. Up 1%, relatively strong. If the market takes out the high, this should be trend up on Meta. There's other names. Obviously, we have not taken out the high on the NASDAQ, nowhere close to it just yet, but we just went red to green to back to red, 0.01 on the NASDAQ. But it's got a chance. If we're going to hold in positive territory in the NASDAQ, I think Meta looks like a long from here.
Oh man, yeah. When you just said it was at the high of the day, we were shorting that name before.
I didn't realize it was up there.
Yeah, Meta right there. So my mistakes on Meta weren't many, but they were some today on Meta for sure. As we shorted that name early and got out of the way of Meta. Yeah, right into here. We were short pretty early on the Meta against VWAP, against the 200 period. Now you're starting to take out some decent levels here. So watch out for Meta. As you're right, it is starting to climb up 284. Okay, interesting level there. What else you guys want to look at here? Starbucks. I'm seeing Starbucks at VWAP. Let's have a look at that. We've traded Starbucks a couple times before, obviously, here on the show. So let's have another look right now at this name and see where we go for Starbucks. Yeah, right there at VWAP 101. Is that an interesting level? I mean, there's the smiley face rejection at the 50 period of 103-ish. So that's something. I'm not really seeing much here. Obviously, it's back to VWAP, but it's just because it's a VWAP scanner. It's been there all for the last 30 minutes. So not much happening there with SBucks.
Question.
Yeah.
Is that the VWAP scanner from Trade Ideas you use?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Why? What's up?
No, I was considering adding it to my layout. I don't know if you find any.
Yeah, I have things that support at resistance, things like that. So yeah, you can add it. Good thing about Trade Ideas is right now, I think it's 20%, and you can use Trader TV 20, 30, 40, 50 now. Just 20 works right now. But right 50. Here, yeah.
People lose
hopefully,
it for 50%
I know, I should have said 50. We've never had that. The highest I think was 30, and that's on special promotion days and stuff like that. But here we go. This is something like at resistance. So right now, Netflix, Tesla, it's just giving you past resistance levels that maybe it's already been at today. So if you're just going to look here, like for example, it's saying Netflix. So let's just have a quick look. And you can hit up Michael Noss from Trade Ideas.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great asset for us, and we'll be back. I don't know when, but soon. Probably. He was doing twice.
He was coming Monday and
so
Friday.
He missed yesterday, obviously, to the June 18th. So here's Netflix as well, right there. 435. So yes, did it say at past resistance? Yeah. So that's right. So here it is, right here. See, here's the chart. Here's the scanner, just saying at past resistance, 435. So there it is right there, 435. So it's at that resistance level, so it's not support. Support would be down here. So just giving you some trade ideas there from Trade Ideas. So that's something that, yeah, good thing we talked about it. Something to look at there
I like that.
as we go. So.
Because at lunchtime or when you know, the market's not going crazy, you might want something which is giving you a level to work off of. You can maybe scalp that level. I like that look. So. Look, traders. I'm probably going to add that one myself because that looks pretty cool. Coinbase, just because we're still, we're still hanging out that 20. We're back underneath 28, but it cannot seem to break that 57 quarter. I took another leg out there. I think you just want to ring the register. I don't have to tell you this is upward trending, and if it continues to go, there's always a squeeze potential. Coinbase has a 21% short float. If this takes out the top again, it certainly has a chance that it could just start running on us. And SoFi, I knew there was something that we had briefly mentioned and not really gone to. It's still down 1.5%, but series of higher lows. Made a bit of a wipeout bottom today. I guess if you want to call it that, it's had in the last 4 days, it's been trending to the downside. But yeah, this bottom didn't really get to 8 even. So I don't think it was at the what seemed like the obvious support level would have been $8. It holds up at 8.20. Sometimes that's a good thing. The fact that it doesn't even get to the level that everyone wants to pick it up at, means it can be an even better bounce because people weren't able to kind of load up into position. I think a lot of people would have been looking to defend that $8. The fact it doesn't get there, good for the long. I would have thought, you know, with a move like this, the market going higher, you'd have a better rebound day, but it doesn't even seem to want to challenge going green here. If it gets to that mark, that 860, which would be red to green, I think things get interesting at $8.60. Definitely. Palantir, bag holder in the chat. I didn't really think there was much unless it got back to 16 even. It's just chilling at 15.70, 77 here. I don't really see a trade at these levels. I think the short would be off of like the high 90s into 16 even. You're kind of right in the middle between the low and that 16 and VWAP. So not much of a trade on Palantir. It was a good short if you had it early, but that was keeping to the key levels. That's what you want to do. Make sure you keep to those key levels. What else do we got going on? Oh, there was that, there's a small cap, or what do you want to call it, like micro float company. I think that's what we should be calling them, like micro float or FCIG. That is all of a sudden, it's not hua-dunking, but I'll be frustrated by it because I took some shots in here at $10. So here's I had a 970 short, stopped out for 30 cents. I had it again, stopped out flat. Then I had a third time, so only 3 times I took the trade. I took one profit take in front of 9 for 50 cents and then got stopped out. And now look at the short off of $10. Like now it's down here at $7.50. So I guess if I had stayed with that, just taking pot shots at it, like it would have taken one here, would have taken one here, would have been like 4 or 5 times you risk 30 cents, and then there's the flush. I wasn't taking any profit till it was at $9. So it would have worked out. But that's what you have to do with those. Like you should be willing to take 3 or 4 cracks at it, maybe 4 or 5, but you got to make sure you're holding it past $1. Otherwise, it doesn't really add up because that's 30, 40 cents plus slippage. You want to make sure you're making the move. It's the same thing on the way up. You're taking a 7 break. You want to make sure you give it some room to work. Short is exactly the same. If it holds 7, that was kind of a key price earlier. That's where things popped off on a 7 break, big volume, when it took that into the halt. So I think 7 could be support for you.
Things be popping right now. The one thing that just popped off against us right now, and we'll go face slap a little bit. We're able to take out a little bit of money. I see Randy over there, so well timed because Ford just took out the top right there.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, Ford is fine.
But what are the odds, though?
Yeah, exactly. As Randy comes in, but this was a nothing trade. Like honestly, wish we had made more. Don't wish we had lost more because we didn't lose anything. But Ford right there, just very, very slow. We thought we could take it on VWAP there if the market did move down. We knew that we'd have a good trade here with Ford, but it just hasn't happened like that. So there it is. We're going to get out once it breaks 15, and that's it. Out at 16, end of Ford, man. We were short 14, out 16. Like I just was hoping for risk to reward. We could have got 5 or 6 to 1 there if we got anything down near $14. So that would have been something. Just cashing out right now of a few different things. AMD came back in again. We waited for VWAP, but now it dropping in again, so that's going to be good. I'm still going to wait. I told you that. I don't know. I know I said it, but did not reload it. We were waiting up here. Thought that we'd get Google back down to 123 again, and here that's coming in for us one more time. So, all right, what else? Oh, Oracle. So someone asking about what happened with my Oracle trade. Yeah, good question right there. Oracle was a good trade for me today, and it was fantastic. Good. I mean, it was fantastic. Shorted, and then, of course, we had the big reload on that trade right there, 124.50 all the way to the downside before it broke out of the range, and we got out right there at 123 when it broke it. But you could see Oracle still pushing to the downside, the south side.
Can you hit that one again for me? I just want to make a note about this.
Yeah, I know.
You should be like scowling in that one. Like you're smiling in there.
Because I'm happy when I'm mowing people down.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the wrong face to put on.
No, it's exactly the right face. It's like, come here, shares. I'm reloaded, and then, yeah, I need to have another one when it backs against me, you know, and I'm like, I've been reloaded and now shot even more than I was the first time. Okay. We are ready for our guest of the day, I believe.
Are we?
No.
I was
that's what I heard in my ear, but I did not. So
Frank is always, because I think it's 2:45.
It is.
I want to say Frank is always dead on time. Like,
Frank is the best. That was my fault.
No, I heard something in our ear
I heard something too,
but I wasn't sure what it was. So
same.
I was like, I looked over and I can see the screen for Zoom
I cannot.
out of the corner of my eye. So usually I'll see Frank. That's why I always know we're going to go to Frank, because I can just look at the screen up there, Fabian.
There was some joke was made.
There was a
Still
joke
have no
made
idea what it was, but some joke being made. So
I don't know. You can put
all right,
it in
well,
the chat,
Frank
guys.
in 6 minutes.
Yeah, 6 minutes until Frank.
6 minutes.
VWAP right now on Apple. So it bounced the first time, and I didn't take it all out there. it looks like it's trying to bounce off there a second time. So I'm going to listen to myself and say, self,
Yes.
get out. It's 186 to 185.5. If it goes all the way up to 186, I'll try and rinse repeat that. I had 99 shorts, so it was about 12 cents worth of risk, depending on what slippage works out to you. I think it's a pretty solid trade, but overall, Apple is now holding the line, like higher lows all the way through. I still have my 185 line drawn when it broke out there. 186 is your quadruple top. Wants to hold VWAP. I suppose if the market starts going, maybe there's a long in here. I just don't want to be up there yet. Coinbase continues to very slowly move off of this high. You know, it's giving you 30 cents worth of a trade, or giving me 30 cents worth of a trade, no break of 57 even. I'm on the bid in front of 57. This doesn't feel like it wants to fall apart right now. Bitcoin's holding right around that 28,000 mark as well. So I don't want to rush into, I'm not reloading this trade. It has to just work here or not. And Virgin Galactic, I said I would not automatically reload. I do still have 5% of the trade from the 6 short. It needs to show me something. I'm not going to stand in front of 6 again. It did the failed break of 6 by getting to 605, and that was my entry to go into full position, and was to take it when it did the failed break at 6. So if it does the same thing, break 6, does not make a fresh high, I'll try that same look for maybe 20% or something like that. Strong move for, not Coinbase, for Virgin Galactic here. Do not want to fight it too hard. There was one other name I wanted to get to. It wasn't Mullen. It wasn't Baba. It wasn't, it was, yeah, we want to go back to Meta. Because on this little dip in the market, Meta's starting to pull back in. So I want to have a look at this 282 area. If we do get back down, there was resistance turning into support. So if the market wants to go and stay green, I should say, go and then stay green. Meta looks like it should be one good for a long. That 82 looks like a solid dip buy.
All right, I mean, I'm still looking for a couple different opportunities here. If there's anything you guys want to talk about. I mean, on my sticky note today was Tesla. We could look at Tesla, AMD, and Ford, which hasn't done a whole heck of a lot. Right now, I'm still trying to watch out for Bitcoin here as well, as that's trying to make some moves one more time. But I mean, I'm looking at GBTC. It's not doing a heck of a lot. Trying to watch out for that one. There's Tesla on a nice little pullback down, 271 and change right there for Tesla, 271.50. Looking like it could be a spot there. The 21 period is at 271 right here. And then I know we're trying to go to my screen, but Fabian is teaching a new member of our team today. So that's going to be really good. Ramin, very, very happy to announce her on the board as well. So shout out to Ramin and our new team as this keeps on growing and growing around here. And, oh, by the way, do we have a name for the show yet, or is it just?
I think it's the
It's the after party with Prad, something like that, right there. So we'll watch after the show. There's the after party, and after the party,
it's a hotel
Prad.
lobby.
Yeah, there's Prad. So he'll be back on at 4 o'clock today.
Sip Bacardi.
He'll be sipping some Bacardi, maybe not. On the show, maybe as the show expands, we'll have. Well, first of all, we got to get some sponsors, right?
Jay-Z, baby.
The after party is what it's all about. We need to, get that going, and we will. So we're really happy to bring that to you today. As right now, the market's not. We are trying to retrace back down. I shouldn't say the market's not doing anything. We have a big winner, and joining the Dollar Club again, as we'll hit some bangs, is AMD, as that's joined the Dollar Club one more time here, as we've made all the money back today that we lost on AMD early. We just made it all back by just shorting the living you-know-what out of this name. Came up to VWAP. We like it a lot. Nice downside move right here into the bottom of the day. I feel like right there, I'm just going to put a bid here. We might as well take something out at 117.80. I mean, that's been the bottom for AMD today. I feel silly if we don't at least put something there. Get a piece out, and then if we continue to make that move, then great. But it's already kind of in rarefied air here. We haven't been down here for a while. And then if you look at the daily chart, which we've been talking about a little bit, this 115 is really the area. So anything down here today, let's just use daily support as support. So it's been down here before, and it just bounced anyways. I don't know why we got rid of that, but it just bounced off this level that we had earlier on today. So 117.80, we'll try to get that back on our minute chart, but I think I might have closed it. So we'll find it in a minute. There it is right there. That's a 5-minute chart. So anyways, AMD, nice downside move here. Let's stay short, but do put a bid at 117.80. See if we can get it. So far, so good here.
I just saw Hector. That's his name in the chat.
I like it. Hector, what up?
Like 5 A's.
What up?
Great look on CRM. He was mentioning like CRM short. But look at 217. That's it on the 3-minute chart. I mean, what a strong day. First of all, CRM up 2%. Let's be real. But if you're looking for a short here, I think you're already in it. If you have it, like 217, there is the rejection on Tuesday of last week, I want to say. I want to make sure that's right. And then it's already pulled back a full $1. So if you're short off of that level, you're already into it. It would need to pop, maybe back up, give you like 216.5. First red candle in what has been a pretty impressive like $4.5 move in the afternoon, so 12 o'clock to now. And if the market gives it up, this would make sense for a bit of a flat bottom break. I think I would want fills in the 216.5 range. Like I want to be sitting in the short, not necessarily jumping in with $1 worth of room. And now we
heard that one.
You see, it's exactly 245. He's always precisely on time.
He's not messing around, this Frank Caberna guy.
So reliable.
We're never giving this guy up. The guy gives the best information, and he is rocking Frank Caberna from IG.
He's definitely the most punctual person on the planet, I think, anyway. Frank Caberna, head strategic over at IG in Chicago here to give us a tee up of, what did I say? Strategic analyst. What am I talking about? Give us a tee up of what is to come this week, because there's a lot of events that we need to be aware of on the macro side of things. Hey, Frank, how was your weekend?
Brendan, my weekend was good, and you call me whatever you want, my friend. Just make sure, that we are friends at the end of the day. I love that my punctuality has been noted. I was running like 6, and this is how punctual and unbelievable. Everybody at home doesn't know this, but given that I do a couple of video hits on a few live networks, and the Trader TV folks are truly unbelievable. And this is like not even a mean thing or this or that, but I was about 60 seconds later than I usually am today. And everybody on the team was probably like, where's Frank? What's panic stricken? Is he going to show up today or not? And that's not to be like taskmasters. It's because you guys are on top of your stuff nonstop. I've never seen anything like it. But anyways, enough of that, enough of the love, because you all know I love you so much. We need to hopefully start loving the UK a little bit, because a ton of news out of England this week, and the British pound has been on an unbelievable run against US dollar. And then also, we'll get to it here in a second, but the true Forex heads out there right now are seeing decade-long highs in the British pound against the Japanese yen. Pretty crazy move in that market. We'll get to that in a second, but I do want to set up just what the heck's been going on in Great Britain here and their pound, the strongest major currency of 2023. Last week gets up to 128 against the dollar once again, and that's more than 2,000 pips. Not necessarily year to date. I was going to say year to date, but off the lows from October, November of last year. Now, keep in mind that October, November time frame in your minds, because that's when the pound started to bounce back. That's when the euro started to bounce back, and the dollar lost some of its gusto. But either way, a 20-cent move in a Forex market, especially one that has such history, the longer that a market's around, be it a stock market or a Forex market or what have you, the less volatile it tends to be. And you can take a look at something like Coca-Cola relative to Tesla for an example of that in the stock world. And here in the Forex world, or in the macro world, that is an exchange rate like the pound versus the dollar. It's been around forever. And it's a market that, Brendan, I mean, you can maybe give me some examples in your recent memory, will move, 10 to 20 cents in a given year. In the last 6 months, it's up more than 20 cents, a huge, huge move in there from the lows. And the Bank of England this week is set to hike another 25 basis points here. As I want to get your thoughts on this, is the pound the new dollar, essentially, as it takes off, not only, like I say, against US dollar, but it's beaten the hell out of the yen. It's beaten up on the euro even. And it seems to be the new currency du jour.
Yeah, I mean, it seems, I think you got to go back to Brexit maybe was the last time we saw such crazy volatility and fluctuation, but the euro jumps out as well, going back to the end of last year when we went actually below parity, and then we've come all the way back and then some, back to 110. But talk a little bit about maybe this inflation that's or inflation data that's coming through as well, because 8.4% still for the UK. They have some work to do compared to everyone else that's.
Yeah, and this is how we've gotten here, essentially. And then I asked the viewers out there, all 10 of them that are still listening to me at this point, to keep in mind that October-November timeframe. Because if we pull up the inflation data here, we have the last year's worth in gray of U.S. inflation, and then in red we'll have the last year's worth of UK inflation. And you can see that leading into the fall of last year, they're kind of on top of each other. The UK is maybe half a percentage point, 1.5%, 2% above US. And then where things really turn is that October-November frame of time here, where UK inflation now starts outperforming US inflation by 4%, even 5% in December there. And like I say, that's when the pound started to turn around. And this stuff all seems really counterintuitive, right? Which would be like, oh, high inflation, that means that a currency is worth less, or your amount of currency is worth less in terms of goods and services. And people in the UK are probably looking at that inflation at 11%, 10%, and still currently the last reading at 8.7%. And this one expected to be 8.4% relative to the U.S. now is in the 4 handle. And the people on the ground in the UK are probably pretty pissed about this inflation remaining high. But we do right now live in an environment where the higher inflation you have in terms of major economies, the higher interest rates you're likely to get from your central bank. And interest rates is really where Forex markets swing. And so if we have inflation here in the UK that's still in the 8 handle, or they print even higher into the 9 handle, you might see this British pound take off to 130 and beyond. Because if we bring up the more historical chart here of pound dollar over the last 2 years or so, we have had a hell of a run in the last 6-7 months. But as recently as 2022, the early part of 2022, they were above 135. And this is a market that, you go back to Brexit volatility, you go back to the aughts and early 2010s, this is a market that tooled around 175 to even 2-to-1 against the dollar. And so it's this rare, weird relationship where, yes, high inflation in the UK means that people who are getting paid in dollars can buy fewer goods and services than they could last year. But I mean, if this trend continues of higher inflation in the UK than in the US, that is, it could lead to much higher pound prices. Of course, on the reverse side of that, if inflation does come down, the Bank of England comes out and they hike 25 basis points this week, and they, similar to Powell and some of the other major central bankers, talk down the idea of going much higher than 5% or so, then maybe you see a reversal back closer to 120 in that pound dollar. But either way, it's been a little bit under the radar. Probably not a ton of people in your audience necessarily talking about the recent run in the pound. But I mean, in Forex, this is a huge, huge run for that British pound. And looking like here in 2023, it's going to be this current version of 2022's USD.
Yeah, and more strength to come, as you mentioned, maybe even this week for the pound. I want to make sure we get to what is to come this week on this side of the pond, if you will, as far as the US dollar is concerned, as far as our inflation ongoing conversation is concerned. We get Fed Chair Powell coming up on Wednesday, first of 2 days in front of the Senate Banking Committee. This is a semi-annual testimony that he gives to the Senate Banking Committee. I guess, does it matter and will it affect anything from a wider basis? And if so, what are you going to be looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those classic things where it's like, oh, Fed Chair Powell is talking to, economists in Ivy League universities. It's like, what could this possibly have to do with markets? You will inevitably get some movement around this. And I think it will, honestly, Brendan, given that it is broader. He's not speaking directly to what the FOMC committee is doing or what their future path of rates are. I think you'll get a broader effect where you'll see interest rates fluctuate, because inevitably the question does become what this guy has the most influence over. And he does end up saying, especially over a 2-day testimonial here, he will give some clues as to the way that they're thinking. And anything that they ask about the economy at large will move around interest rates and probably the stock market more than an FOMC meeting. So this will be a big one to watch to see what he's worried about, what he's not worried about for the stock market and everything else. You'll see the big shifts. I think he starts talking each day around 10 a.m. Central or 10 a.m. Eastern, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but go check it out, because tomorrow and Thursday he'll be speaking. And right now in interest rate world, the expectations are higher than they were a month ago. You and I were jumping on, especially in March and April, and they were talking about interest rate cuts as soon as the July or September or December meetings. Now we're looking at the December projections for interest rates, and they're pretty much where we are currently, actually baking in that 25 basis point hike that's due for the July meeting to still be there in December of this year. And so expectations for interest rates do seem to be higher for longer. When we looked at end of year estimates, as we are currently right now in front of you, a month or two ago, Brendan, it was down closer to like 3.5%, 4%. Now pretty healthy there, above 5%. The question, though, becomes, as that worm has turned a little bit, we're less worried about the next financial crisis being regional banks or this or that. Yeah, it's nice that interest rates are due to be higher for a little bit longer. We're not looking for cuts potentially until next year. But the big question for me is going to be, will he give any kind of idea of if 5% is it? Like, because if he comes in and he's like, we've got inflation down, we don't see any real fear around inflation resurfacing, and we're not that fearful of the Chinese economy or geopolitical risks or anything like that, then 5% might be it. But if he gives any kind of lean of like, we're watching this stuff, we're still a little bit worried about it, I'm really interested to see, because this happens every couple of months. You and I were talking last year, and we thought 3% was it. And then we thought 4% was it. Right now, 5% is it. But will that, by the end of the year, become 6%? And he'll definitely start to give some tells. You know better than anyone, Brendan, that the Fed gives you their tell before they actually do the action. And so I'm going to be watching that very, very closely. And that, of course, will shake out through stocks and Forex and everything else.
Yeah, and that was definitely the message I think we were left with going back to the meeting last week in the press conference specifically. He was still leaning on that hawkish side. So any difference from that over the next 2 days, and definitely will be market moving. Great stuff as always. We'll check back in again on Thursday. Frank Caberna, senior content strategist over at IG in Chicago. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Brendan.
As always, Frank delivering the goods there. Ooh, the bull got knocked over. Keep elbowing that bull. We're back.
I might knock it straight over soon. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The NASDAQ does seem to want to make another run for positivity here. So let's just. It's been a bit range bound in the afternoon, but it is kind of like a bull flaggish setup. So support there, 15,230, about 40 points worth of range till you get to the high. I said I like Meta for a little bit of relative strength. It does dip down, doesn't quite give 282. Higher lows consolidated. It just broke out. So this is it finally holding 83s and then broke out the top. I got 20s. back into 83 we'll give it. I did mention I would not reload coin. Coin took out the top. Bitcoin is still holding well above 28.1 now, so it just continues to go higher.
Right,
so
okay.
yeah, no reload, not while it was above 28, and it continues to run. I actually put a bit in there to try to get long that consolidation. Didn't quite grab it. If you can't beat them, and if we hold above, there's still room for this to run. If you go to the daily chart, let's go to the daily chart here on Coinbase. It's got both major moving averages just sitting here in like 58.5 to 58.70. Maybe that's a bit of resistance, but this is a breakout now back on the daily to those major moving averages. I think there's still room to run if they want to go. Oh, there's NVIDIA. NVIDIA's back at 436.
This might not work yet.
Yeah, so 436 was, I was actually long into this level. I took a breakout long and then just covered my long in front of 436. I wasn't short up there. That was where I thought resistance was this morning, but it was upward trending into it. So instead of waiting for the short, I just kind of went the long and scalped it into 36. But it's about to make the run now. 436.00 was the high of the day on NVIDIA, so it has not broken it just yet. There's no size on the offer either. Maybe a couple thousand shares total.
I was going to give Microsoft some more room than this, but we are in a Microsoft short now. We took such a small position when we were on with Frank there, and then it broke. We took a 15-cent hit, and now we're just back into the short here. And again, Microsoft is so down today. Could it recover? Of course it can. But look where it just went up to. What's going on here? I thought we had some more opportunities to short up there than where we were. 80s we were waiting for. Where did that just get to? 75? Okay. That's at 70. So let's just take another piece right now. We'll wait to see if we get something upside there on Microsoft. And again, you know, right there, 339.60. I just like, we're at VWAP, we're at the 50 period. I kind of like that, and I'm biased to the short. Market is down. We right now are above the 50 period, so maybe we continue to the upside. And you know, just because I'm always short, or not always short lately, anyways, doesn't mean that we can't go long somewhere. But see, we just got out of some Google right there as well at 20, so that's been a good trade for us. But you can see now that's falling back down, and we did get. I don't know if this was while Frank was there or not. Oh, no, I guess I can just double check. Yeah, it was. Right when we threw over to him, 247 there. AMD, we just talked about getting out of that one. That went to 117.90. That was our target. Remember we were waiting at 85 or something? It does go low as 75, but we take the 90 and now watch AMD go. So, all right. Microsoft, it's my newest position, so I just want to give this the short. Like we just mentioned, there's the 50 period and there's some wick highs. That's 338.75. I'm going to give it to 339, so just up it a little bit. I mean, that's 339.05. If you really want to give it some more room, it'd be 20s. But if this market does fall down, Microsoft's been, I mean, it's a nice recovery, and it's kind of just hovering here. So I do think that we do have a drop-down spot right here. And I was actually going to hit the short through 338.25 or so. We just started it early, and I was like, you know what? If it doesn't happen, we want to get out. So, and I tweeted this out about AMD. It's why we've been able to bring everything back on AMD today. Risk management. I mean, if we hold the short all the way, we probably get blown up and lose a lot more if we hold it to that 122 or whatever the high was there on AMD. But we manage the risk. We take the L. Allows us to get back in it, right? So obviously, Microsoft's a much better short up here, so we'll wait to see if it gets up there. And then I do want to be in something, because if we break this area, like right into here, I mean, I really think that, you know, where we sort of ran to, it's been sort of right here, right now. So it's all these, it's roughly these three ellipses right here. Boom, boom, and boom. Like if we could break lower than this, then I think Microsoft does have, like the risk to reward on this is down here to 337, if not lower. And hopefully we're only risking, well, not hopefully we're only risking 50 cents. So as it comes back up, hopefully this can get down to the downside. But it's Microsoft right now, especially if this market moves down. This is a name that I'm going to be pretty happy to be short. So let's wait on it. I don't see anything else at VWAP or at any other kind of key levels. So for now, we're going to wait for Microsoft. It's now an amazing 13 cents in the money. So let's see if we can get a little bit lower. Just saying that tongue in cheek. I will put a bid down here though in the 20s just because. Wouldn't like to take a piece out at that first level. Let's go 22 right now. There must be a famous athlete that's 22.
Well, I mean,
is that your guy?
He's
no.
famous for me.
For you, yeah. But other than that, I don't want to steal your number.
Nah, it's just Will Clark.
Right. Okay.
You
always mention it, that I was trying to think of somebody else, Neil, but and I threw over to you thinking there might be somebody, but I can't even.
He has the great. So Will Clark, he played for the San Francisco Giants, and he played for Texas, a couple other teams as well. But his first,
Emmitt Smith.
The dude was. Forget about Emmitt Smith. We don't talk about Cowboys, bro.
Wow.
Will Clark hit a bomb on his first, I think it was his first minor league swing.
Amazing, eh?
And then his first at bat in the major leagues was off Nolan Ryan. And his first swing, he hit a bomb.
And he would probably still hit a bomb off Alek Manoah right now.
Oh, come on, man.
Is that guy's almost back to single A? That's going to be really nice.
He pitched a simulated game, and I don't know how it went. I'm assuming it went well.
You know what? I mean, I know baseball is very statistics oriented, and there's so much history.
Poor guy.
But I wonder if there's ever been an opening day starter that hasn't gone like to the IL or IR, whatever
Injury list.
right? That has been sent down as low as he was 2 or 3 months out.
Oh, I'm sure, like without an injury.
Opening day starter, though, I'm saying.
My frustration's on video right now.
But that's okay. Anyways, we'll talk about that after. I was just thinking.
Well, I definitely cannot come up with
Microsoft.
that off the top of my head. So I should have stuck with that as a short on NVIDIA. It was a failed break. I had 03 long and out at 94, but I did not. I was trying to chase it. I didn't want to chase it too far, but it came right back in. I tried to get it on the way back. There's your failed break, and now it's going to absolutely flush. I'm certainly reconsidering whether I want to reload in Virgin Galactic. I said I would not, but the market wants to roll over. I cannot see a really good reason. So now it's wicking 595. I said I'd wait for it to break 6 even before even thinking about a reload and taking it on a failed break. Well, if it doesn't get there, then I will have just missed this opportunity. So as I said, I don't think you want to go full off a level like this. If it breaks 6, I just get out. But that was frustration central on NVIDIA because I did not want to chase that. But there's your fail break at 436. That was it. Long this. Will Clark was one of the biggest jerks in MLB history. Let's just say he played the game a little bit hard. His slides into second base might have been a little bit aggressive. He was a gamer. I'll give him that much, man. And I'll be the first person to tell you sometimes that got out of hand. How guys would slide in, trying to essentially end somebody's career. But he was a gamer out there, so to each your own. I was always a big Giants fan. The first autobiography I ever read was not Jackie Robinson, it was Willie Mays. And after I read it, I was a huge, my NL team was the Giants. And from there, it was pretty easy. I was going to fall in love for Will Clark at that point, because it was the mid-'80s, man. And I still own my Will Clark rookie card. It would have been nice if he went to the Hall of Fame. Then it would actually be worth something. But yeah, 2 weeks.
Wait a second, he's not in the Hall of Fame?
No, he's very good. It's just obviously you got to have a longer career to be in the Hall of Fame. But that NVIDIA 436, that up-down trade, it failed that break and was immediately $1.50. I did not want to chase it. I do still want to have a look, see if I can get back into Virgin Galactic. And CRM's still available. That might be, it never went to 217 again, but if the market rolls over, it just made another lower high. So kind of bouncing off 215.80, 216, got up to 216.5. That's where I would have been looking for the fills above that half level. But if it's going to hold this lower high, I think you can reasonably look at that lower high as a bit of an out. The market is showing you signs of dumping, not dumping, but breaking consolidation down. And if we do that, then there's going to be a lot of opportunities off the highs, anything that's relatively strong. Bitcoin is back underneath 28,000, so would I look at coin again underneath 57.5? I think so, but I don't want to chase any of these too far. CRM's still giving you a decent entry. If you can get the quarter or 20 to risk 30 cents on it, it's already showing you a bit of rejection. The market rolls over, the risk to reward, VWAP's $2.50 away. So if it's not Virgin Galactic or going back in a coin, then I do like this CRM setup. Probably take a couple looks at it. If we see NVIDIA back at 436, I do think I take a swing at it, but the first time it does a failed break is generally the best time. You wanted to have it that first time.
Slots are paying today. That's funny.
No, they're not.
I tried slots a couple times. I'll do that again here. Right now, someone said, thank you for the great show. I can't find it right now, but you are welcome. Anybody there in the chat, thank you so much for watching and for doing everything. Shout out to Long This. He already talked about that.
Now I just lost by 20 on the slots.
Someone said slots are paying. It was probably the pit boss because he wants us to pay some more, get some more in there. But right now, okay, we'll bang it out a little bit. Microsoft's now 25 cents in the money, 30 cents in the money. I mean, let's just, we got our 22 fill there, so that's what started this whole thing. So we did get that. Now it's trying to pull back in. I don't have any other bids on this one. Shout out to everybody who's watching me trade as well. We do have a 337.60 bid right now on Microsoft. Like I said, I drew those ellipses, which are now, like, I don't know how you get those things to stay. Like, I just drew those things and they're gone
know how.
already. I don't know, you got to hit save layout.
You're in the new version.
But I didn't even switch.
No, you have to save your layout.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me,
anyway, I
it's-
didn't even switch anything. I just all of a sudden
Got
switched
to.
symbols and it's gone. But anyways, there it is right now. I wish I could show it to you, but hopefully we can break lower, lower, lower. This is what we're doing is right here, right here, right here. We're right at this area right now. And we could get it out for 50 or for 40 cents, right? It just printed tens. We didn't even sit there. I'm waiting in here. 337.50 is like just watching out for that top, which is 70. We'll see if we can get something to go in and around there. But I'm fully aware that this could break lower, or sorry, break higher against us. So we're gonna watch out for this over and over again. All right, so the Dollar Club, I know you were fighting NVIDIA there a little bit, or was commenting on it. I've just sort of been sitting in AMD. I'm gonna try to be as patient as I can. That's what burned me in the first place on that name. Wait a minute, what's Google doing right now? Okay, there it is, just a spike back up again, right back into those levels. So my P&L just changed a little bit because we were right down here again. Remember we talked about it when it was up here. I said it's probably going back to VWAP. It does that, but then it stops at VWAP. So we get out at 20, then we do not get out at 10. Now you have a move up. I'm not so sure about the reload. Too many bounces off there. Obviously, if we get something in the 60s, that'll be there for Google. So I'm just gonna put that order right now in the 60s for GGOGLE. And take a fill if it does come back up there. But other than that, we'll wait on it. We could check out, I don't know, I mean, we could check out GBTC, we could check out Mara.
They're turning now a little bit.
They're turning out a little bit, okay, to the downside.
Yeah.
So we can look at Bitcoin right now. This is just, again, on a 1 minute chart. We'll check out BTC. Yeah, so there it is. Bouncing off 28, I guess, to the downside, 28,140. Here we go. Now starting to make some moves down, like Neil just said. Maybe we are starting to get lower here on GBTC. So, okay, we have to watch out for this. 27,760 right now is where we held before. Like, I'm excited to be obviously part of Day Trade the World. I've been here 21 years. But once we get a more active crypto going, then I think this will be, you know, something that we'll look at much more active when we can trade spot crypto. So right now we cannot. So you have to trade a GBTC, a Mara, Coinbase, something like that, or Bitcoin ETFs we have access to as well. But for me, it would just be sort of on the equity side. So we'll wait to see that. But there's Google right up and then straight back down as, yeah, Bitcoin's falling down a little bit here.
Yeah, that John H.
So
just
is
said,
Microsoft.
damn, FFIE to the downside. You're right about that. Future Faraday, they had a bit of a flush this morning. We sort of talked about that one gapping last week, and not a good look for them. We'll get to them in a second. I did end up reloading inversion Galactic, and I do have that CRM, which we just took, 216.13 I got as my price. I'd like to add a little tighter to the 50 even, but this consolidation, if the market falls over, there's a couple of names I think can go.
Do we have micro Bitcoin futures?
No. What? So remember,
Do those even exist? I know Dan's mentioning. I don't know if he's trolling or not.
no,
but I don't-
there was something that there was a product that we had. Remember, it was no liquidity. It was
Well, that's
something-
why I didn't want to use the Bitcoin futures because the spread.
Yeah,
is
the spread was
huge.
absurd, and you couldn't as a day
I'm
trader.
gonna look into what we have.
I remember when we had it quoted like in P Pro A, like there was no reasonable way you were trading off of the
Right.
spread. The spread was a little bit big. So once we get something which is a little bit more, I guess liquid is the right answer. Once you have that, have at her. But if you don't have liquidity, you don't have a trade. As a matter of fact, like at Day Trade the World, if a symbol has low enough average volume, it's literally blocked for the entire company. So if it does like 10,000 shares a day, when you sit down in the morning, you can't trade it. Because unless, like if news comes out and all of a sudden like it starts doing volume, you can put a ticket in to request it's tradable. But there's no way you want day traders with all that leverage and the buying power that they do, able to get into positions on stocks that you would not be able to get out of.
Yeah.
So that's always an important thing. We always talk about liquidity. If we see a small capper going and running, sometimes I'll look at it and say, hey, that's off my list. It's on the ish list because you can't really work a trade here. If it's less than $5 and the spread is more than 10 cents, that's usually a bit of a hint that you do not necessarily want to be trading it. All right, here's a little bit of a pop-up. So can CRM actually get to 216.5? It gets here, puts in another rejection of that level. That's where I'd look to add into the position. Otherwise, we'll just be patient with it. And here comes NVIDIA back up to 436. So I missed it the first time. I had the false breakout. When I was in it, I was not instantly out, but I saw it reject the high, 25 cents, took the 12-cent hit, or I think 15-cent hit. Now it wants to make another run at that 436 high. So good resistance level here on NVIDIA. It's right back up at the top. I'll take one more crack at this. Well, one crack at this because I didn't actually short it. off that 436. But if it makes a fresh high, you've got to be thinking relative strength and get out of NVIDIA's way. When it wants to be a long, just let it be a long. But it's been a good short at this level. Not that I've taken it. I've been long into it twice.
All right, so I see there BITN3. So thanks for that, Dan. We'll, yeah, we're gonna look into it. I don't think we have anything on our platform right now for that, so we'll look into it. And like Neil said, we can put in requests and everything, depending on who's clearing it and things like that, whether or not it's viable. We do have a big. Neil just explained a little bit there, some checks on symbols that we are able to trade with and unable to trade with as well. So yeah, we'll double check all that for you guys and get back to it ASAP basically. Because yeah, Neil and I want to trade everything that's moving, right? So
and some days that is, I mean, the best game in town, right?
Yeah, hey, I think it's great. I mean, I think, well, Bitcoin, yeah, like today, for example.
Like today's a perfect example. Like that break to get to 28,000, like that's what you want to be trading, ideally, if you can. Like, you're sitting there looking at Coinbase, but the better move was some of these clean, like, even dollar breakouts. And, okay, there's NVIDIA. It just got to that 36 on a dime, pull back. Am I going to get some fills in here? There's an 80 fill, 82 technically speaking, but distinction without a difference. The high of the day on NVIDIA is 436.23, so all roads lead to that. And that is going to be, and now it's all roads lead to Rome. That's the actual saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're short off that high for the first time today. I did short the 43 level, so it's not that I haven't shorted NVIDIA, but I was long when that took out the high into 436. Now we're shorting 436. So if the market breaks higher, well, I got 3 shorts and no longs. So hopefully it breaks to the downside. Is VCIG waking up? I'm gonna guess no, because the last time I checked that stock, I thought it was just falling apart and the day was over. Oh, I keep putting CVIG. VCIG was that 2.1 million float company from this morning. I don't know that it's held VWAP. Oh, $7 held. Okay, 7 is where the big breakout happened. You've got my attention. Well, you know what? We mentioned this. We actually said 7 is where the break was. That's when Max had it. It halted up for the first time after the 7 break. Well, lo and behold, what's the level it wants to support now? $7? Yeah, you've got my attention here. I don't want to draw any lines, but yeah, wicked under 7 just now, held VWAP, held 675. That looks like a pretty good shot play. And again, if it gets anywhere near $10 and you're long 7 with a 675 stop, I mean, that's not that bad risk to reward.
I like that.
Good call.
We're trying to. I don't know. I didn't see who it was there in the chat. And again, thanks for some ideas there. There are some more people talking more about some of the Bitcoin instruments and things like that. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on all of that. Why is everybody saying Nicola? Shout out to you, my dude, as well. What's up, Danker? Right there. I hope your stuff is pretty dank. But Nicola, yeah, nothing. 8% today and not really moving around. So I'm going to take a pass on that one. Thanks for bringing that.
You have to spread trade that.
To our attention. Yeah, exactly. If you're going up and down on it, fine. But like honestly, like just to sit there and try to make a trade right now does not seem very reasonable for that. But meanwhile, guys, hit the damn sirens, because if you're with your boy, then you've got a good trade on right now, and that is sponsored by, of course, Mr. Softy, my favorite name to trade, and there it is right now. Nice move to the downside here for Microsoft, to the downside for Microsoft, breaking lower now, 60 cents in the money, and we just took that. We haven't hit this much today. I don't know why, but there it is. Nice move to the downside. We're positive today, and we're just adding to it right now with Mr. Softy to the downside on that break. I mean, we took literally a 15-cent hit to begin with, and now we're holding on to a 50-cent winner here on Microsoft, and it's still trying to go. I mean, I told you where my bids are, and guess what? They're still there. 337.60 right now. So here comes Microsoft trying to break down right now. We talked about where we thought it was going to go here, and then breaking lower here. That's already happened. So next stage for me would be somewhere near this top, which is 70. So maybe we could switch it. Let me just switch it to 70 now that and again, this is the best part about being a day trader. Well, there's so many good things, but is being able to change your price and your opinion, quite frankly. So we'll put that there as we zoom back out a little bit, and let's just put a 75 bid. So we'll sit right here, right in front of this level, right there, 75. We'll put a bid on, see if we can get that. As there goes Microsoft right there. Yes, sir. Sirens up, ladies and gentlemen. This is a quick 60 cent winner as we hold on to AMD. Not only that, we also talked about Google. That's making a move down. So far, what was a great morning is continuing here into the afternoon. It's only 3:20. That means we have about 10 minutes until the imbalances are sort of first looked by Financial Juice. We'll give you that number. Then after that, we wait for 3:50 before the imbalances come in. And then today, we've got Brad, the first. It's the first of the month?
Well, so no, it's the first trade after the sort of rebalance.
Right, okay.
Sometimes after the third Friday, the first of the month.
You got too many bone thugs on your mind.
No, I know. You get that third Friday, you get options expiration and big imbalances. Sometimes you have some residual bid offers that can be there. And as you were mentioning, Prad coming on at 4.
Shout out Raul. Thank you for watching.
Yes, sir. And I probably just got greedy. I should have just taken the scalp trade on NVIDIA. I am in the VCIG. I'll get there in a second. But NVIDIA popped down from 436 to 435 half. I'm waiting for 435 even. Hopefully we can get that and then see about like 430. You can see 434 has been local support. So we'll see if we can get that as well. But I'm now into that VCIG. The fact that it held at $7, it's not that I would sit in front of $7 and say, hey, just go long in front of 7, anticipating that breakout that led to the halt was going to be support. But once it tells or shows you that it's support a couple of times, then look for the long off that level. So I'll give it into the bottom. I'll take some out if it breaks 8 because I could see it making a failed break at 8 even. And then I'm talking about 9 and then holding through the high of the day. So I think you just want to go for it here. If it holds VWAP, great. I think you have a run that can test the high of the day. If it does not, it's a very binary trade for me there in VCIG. Be short. Virgin Galactic does not have, what did it say? 595 with big size at Virgin Galactic. You saying there's 595 big size? I do not see it. I'm in it right now, average price of 93, but the 95 level looks like every other level on Virgin Galactic. So unless you can see a book that I don't and the offer at 595, it looks like any other level. Yeah, it's just like 30,000's on the offer. Like most of it's on EdgeX and the same things at 96. So, $6 has a little bit more size, but that's $6. That's exactly what you would expect. So, yeah, I'm not really seeing it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
There could be other books. We have most of the feeds.
Yeah, we have
almost. I think we have all of them.
I have pretty much. A Day Trade the World. You're going to see every single order book that you can find. So no, there is not big size on that offer. Nor would that be the reason I'm in this short.
Did you say Scott Norwood?
Scott Norwood. Nor would it be the reason I'm in. Nor would. Yeah. Oh
man.
Why you got to bring up Scott Norwood?
Bills.
Wide right, man. I don't know. Make a field goal.
Yeah, Neil's favorite team is the Bills, so I just bringing that up there.
Once it happens, now I'm just like, oh god, now I got that memory in my head. That's why I didn't acknowledge 22 being Emmitt Smith, because quite frankly, I had nothing. Emmitt Smith is one of the greatest players of all time.
That's why I was surprised.
I just generally don't like to acknowledge that fact because of what he did to my team. That's why I don't love Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. I will readily admit that he's the greatest, but you're not going to see me heap too much praise on that guy. So. Yeah, it is what it is. If I'm kind of thinking about this, there's not a big level on Virgin Galactic, but I don't know if I want to hold this past 6 again. I might just get out of it if 6 goes, because it's probably going to run the high again, and that's definitely true. And you're right, James D. Fun fact: Barry Sanders was the backup to Thurman Thomas when he was in college. Whether or not that should have been true, that's a different story. I love Thurman, but let's be real.
When you go to a big school, it's like you look at some of those, like Alabama, all these guys are playing behind everybody else. All those receivers, it's like Jerry
there goes
Judy.
NVIDIA, high of daybreak.
Okay. Let's just keep on going here. High of daybreak. Okay. Looking at that, honestly, guys.
It's just NVIDIA, though.
I'm going to, but I'm going to cancel my Microsoft bid down there at 70s and take an 05 fill just right now. Why? Because, I probably jumping the gun here, getting a little bit excited, but we didn't. This is the futures now. We did not take that level out. So I was sort of saying to myself, if we break back above 338, let's take a piece out. That did happen. May have jumped the gun there. I have now canceled my 7. We were at 75. It got as low as 85. So that kind of sucks to give that piece. All I did was give that piece back. So instead of getting out 75, we got it at 05, so we will give 30 cents at the end of the day there because we don't have that very bottom on Microsoft, but still, positive name, positive expectancies, everything, so it's fine. It's just we did give that not as much room as maybe we should have there on that one. So yeah, you're not going to get us again with that there goes Nikola thing because we know that's not going anywhere.
Definitely not. Unless, I mean, no, it's not. If it were to, that'd be interesting.
All right, let's go check it out.
No,
Psych.
we're not
going.
it.
Right there again. But I will go to Tesla because I know there's some talk on that.
Tesla might be moving.
Holy shoot balls. Right now, we had like Tesla long 264. It's not only that we wrote it down on our sticky note. I mean, a lot of people could write down whatever they want. We actually have that 264 there. And then the problem is, again, this move, I don't know why it started now, why it started at the end of the day or what. The market is literally barcoding, doing absolutely nothing. That's why we tried some shorts in here against this level. That didn't work out. We didn't give anything back. We actually made money on these shorts. But then boom, wow, just definite ignition there. Wondering if there should be a trade or two. I might change up the sticky note, like whatever I put on the top is like the potential to hold. So maybe I just trade less shares with a chance to hold it in case you get this kind of a move, because that's $8 in the money. So even if you hold 100 shares, something ridiculous, $800, I mean, that's just sweet. I would never hold it. So that wouldn't happen to me because by this time left, I'd have, 20 shares if I'm lucky on that kind of a move, because every time we kept making highs, I probably would have got a piece out, but there it goes. Like, and that goes against holding it, right? But that's a tough thing to do when a stock is moving like this. And not only that, it's moving against the market. So it's kind of doing its own thing. I wouldn't say it's against the market, but definitely doing its own damn thing. Shout out to everybody that's on Tesla there. And honestly, I don't have an out. Like, I would just say, I mean, I just took out the highs, so the only outs I'd have if people are long, and then you want to give it back to probably 271, which isn't that far. And if you keep getting out, then you don't hold for this huge move. So, yeah, I do not want to short this name. Shorting it has been wrong. So there it goes, man. Nice move to the upside. Barry Sanders has the most runs for negative yardage. I probably would believe that as well.
It was his style of play. Like, he was
that's
a home
what I'm saying. Like,
he was a home run hitter.
Not only that, he never had a quarterback really. So I mean, when they're keen on him,
they stacked the box against him. Everybody knew where the ball was going. It's a very different.
There's not many people. I mean, I know we just had Walter Payton and Jim Brown and all that kind of stuff, but Barry Sanders is.
If he had Emmitt Smith's line, let's be real for a second. The Cowboys had the best line.
Yeah, or the money from Dallas that was spending all that money there.
You can't. That's the thing about running. Like, it's team sport. And if anyone that follows football understands, like, for especially the run game, like, a great quarterback can do some amazing things.
The running back is,
But the running back is
it's
definitely
the most replaceable
reliant.
position in sports.
Yeah, but more so now. It wasn't back in the day because so much is scheme heavy. If you watch football, you'll understand what I'm getting at. Like, running schemes are so complex that it has way more to do about how you're tricking the defense in your blocking scheme and your running scheme. Like San Francisco, like, you put any running back in that system and they're going to look fantastic. The Jets run a similar system as well, and they can look good. The Bills, on the other hand, they may not get the most out of their running backs. Anyways, back to the markets for a quick second here. NVIDIA, we had short. It broke the high of the day. We said we give it to that, and then it's back into just playing the trend on NVIDIA. It broke 436 top. It got to 62s. I have scalped some out, as it looks like it does want to continue to go. Of course, Meta's at a high of the day again. That was super strong. I knew we should have been in that Meta long.
Those strong names.
So strong Meta is that VCIG. It's holding consolidation, but not really breaking out yet. So I am long at 55. My first offer is on the north side of 8 even. If it breaks 8, fantastic. If not, then we got issues. Virgin Galactic is still holding underneath 6, just barely. It did a wick up there. I should have. That's a bit of a missed opportunity. We're trading that VCIG. Like, it goes right up to 599 and comes right back down. That should have been an entry at 96 or 97 to add into that position. If we get a second shot at it, you might see me pop into more shares of Virgin Galactic. I'm only holding 20% of what we had on the original short. So let's see what happens. VCIG, I am, as long checks notes, we are still underneath 28,000. So we're going to go to the 15-minute for you guys on Coinbase. Just running through some of what we have. Load. There you go. So Coinbase rejecting that top end break. On the 15-minute, this is still playing off of this level from last week. up at 57.5. So we've been battling up here. You did not break 58 even. You're now giving another consolidation with Bitcoin underneath 28,000. If it rolls over, I do still like this trade at that price. Let's see where it goes. NVIDIA, it's just going to be a, if it holds above 436, I don't have a target up here, quite frankly. Yeah, to be frank with you, you could you could look at Friday's high. That was 437.5. So that's about it. Outside of that, I mean, you think even dollar levels, but if it breaks that, I think I want to hold it. We're going to get the early look on the imbalances. That's probably going to tell us a lot. If it ends up being a big sell imbalance or a decent size sell imbalance, I'll respect the fact that NASDAQ is still red and then go for the scalp trade possibly on NVIDIA. But if it's a buy imbalance, I think this is the one you want to hold on to.
Yeah, I mean, we were just, I'm so close to like watching Microsoft collapse. Like Microsoft just again went down to 84 there and bounced off that. Like that's twice now it's gone right down to this level, giving us like 70 cents, and it just keeps on bouncing from there. So whatever, we'll do like stink faces at it, but I mean, I really think that it could still continue to move down a little bit here. So let's just take a look at that and see if there's going on. You know what's looping up right now? You want to talk about some smiley faces? A Peloton right now. It's probably like to say an iPad
Seriously?
on a bike, but yeah, it's trying to. It's still down 4%. I mean, it's not doing much. But this move right here, right coming up, right back up to VWAP. So we look at this on a VWAP scanner again. We talked about that today, using some different scanners that have come through, and there it is right now. Peloton back up to 828 right now. I'm not in love with this trade. I just was bringing it to people's attention. Noticing that 815 or 813 maybe as a bottom. Let's see if we can zoom back out a little bit here. Nah, I mean, VWAP's not changing no matter what time frame you have it on, but on a 5-minute chart, obviously the trend is to the downside. So I would say this is probably a short, if anything. We're already in all shorts, so I'm going to stay away from. That's not a reason to stay away from something, but again, pretty big move. Oh, wow, I didn't even notice that. What day is this? This goes back to the 9th, where we bottomed at $8 again. So, wow, that, to have noticed Peloton earlier on in the day maybe would have been good, because there's $8 and there's $8 again today. So maybe you could have bought something off $8. But other than that,
short 10, that chart
10 would be.
I mean, 10.
Get back up to
that 10 level is obviously going to be a big one. Oh, yeah, there goes
Microsoft.
version above $6. I did reload it. I said I would wait for it to do a fail break at 6. I end up reloading here in the 90s. I end up with a 93 price, but I'm not going to wait for it to get to the high of the day. You don't want to give it all back, and it has been like waiting for the 6 level was the key thing. But I do short the lower high here. It seems like it wants to make the breakout. The only long I have, to me, I mean, NVIDIA counts. VCIG doesn't care if the market gets back to the high of the day. It's just a low float name, quite frankly. So if it makes a move to the upside, it's just because it's not even like squeezing. That's not even the term, because it doesn't have a short float. It's just a low float name. So CRM still holding that lower high. That's still okay. We've got to watch out for coin if it gets back above that 58 level. We're back into the short. It just wicked 58. Okay, so it just wicked 258. That's now 3 times on the 15-minute chart underneath. So I have my stop above 58 even, and then we'll see if it can take to the downside. What's going on in Tesla? I don't know. I'm not really in it. Tesla can take my bank account.
Don't tell me it's 172.
Randy just
or
said.
272.
Well, if you're shorting it, this stock's up 5%. It's at 73-ish. No, sorry. It failed to break at 73 temporarily. So it got to 273.11. It is now back at 272.65. So Tesla.
Was that our Randy that said that?
No, is it Randy or Orisma?
Randy in the chat. Okay.
Randy Orisma in the chat saying Tesla can take my bank account.
What does that mean, though?
I'm not sure what that means.
Like he wants to buy all the Teslas in the world, or?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hopefully you're long the stock and somehow that's a positive thing. That's all I could say. But
yeah, let's just hope that when the market, it's up 5%.
If it goes to 275 today, that'll be nuts. At this time, it's only 27 minutes to go. If it goes to 275, that's a fade. At this time of day, anyways.
I just wrote Tesla down, honestly, guys,
VRCG's
on the sticky note, just because of where it was on the daily. And it's not even the daily, I guess. It's just breaking, it's just breaking out. Like there's 264, 265. We topped it, and then we're breaking it higher. So topped it, boom. Like that's it, right? Like that's literally all that we wrote down here today on the sticky note was all about just breaking that top there on Tesla. It was pretty simple. It's right there. We talked about it there. Should break here on the Rivian news, right? I mean, not even the Rivian news, but just wait for it to happen. There it is right here. Take out the daily. Be patient, you know. So stupid that we wrote all this stuff down, but anyways, thank you so much. Almost 10,000 views, 66 likes, 9 retweets. So thank you for supporting the show as we go. And if not doing it for that, do it for at least Katrine.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
All right, so, you know, there's that. We had Frank on today. Make sure you do it for that.
Mr. Caberna.
Yeah, Mr. Caberna, to be exact.
I only joke because I think it was on Thursday last week. I joked
was
around
there?
and
Was
said,
something
it's
happening?
Like, he was cool with being called Mr. Caberna, which is fine.
Okay.
Usually,
most people are fine with that.
You know, he's a young cat. You know, obviously younger than myself. I just thought I'd.
Frank is younger than you?
What? Of course he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, of course he is.
Of course he is, Neil.
No, I mean, I think.
I think Frank is probably like.
I just think he's younger than me. I don't know how old he is.
I don't know. He's tricky. He's tricky. I don't know. That guy's tricky.
He's got no gray hair.
Tricky.
He has. Look at the coif.
I'm gonna go with 34.
I mean, he's definitely. Yeah, early 30s.
Mid 30s. Yeah.
Well, he's definitely younger than me. Let's just get that.
What does everyone else think?
That's super easy.
All right, so
just one thing here. It looks like we're pulling back in VCIG. I did say implicitly my stop is under VWAP, but it is right underneath this wick. So this is like 680. I'm just underneath there for my stop. We want it to hold. If it breaks out, fine. But if it never breaks out, I'm not. Like, I wasn't in it for 30 or 40 cents, so actually on the way up I was adding to the position, but if it doesn't break out, this is a binary trade. It either works or it doesn't, and I'm looking for a big break, 8 and then 9, although we are running out of time. So it's 335 now. If it still hasn't gone and it's like 345, 350, I probably tighten up that stop to like 7 even, and I also take profits sooner as well. You got to give it time, but that's one thing as a day trader you don't always have an infinite amount of. Even if it runs at like 4:15 or something, that's not really of any use to me. We have to get out of positions by 4
Did you say the number from Brendan yet? Did I miss that point?
Oh, it's a monster.
Don't say it.
It's a monster. Go for it.
I don't want to influence people's positions by giving them this number. What was it on the rebalance? Do you remember? I mean, that was Friday.
It was.
I know that's a long time ago.
No, it was. I don't remember how big it was.
Billion.
Let's
start with a B.
No, the early look was.
The early look was a B as well?
I think it was a bill. Oh, no.
We could probably look. I'm going to go back in our chat.
No,
we
it was.
probably see this.
It might have been 800 something.
Did you guys use this chat or what? Where is it here? 1.2 billion to buy was Thursday. I don't see it in the chat for Friday.
No, that was Friday. Wasn't it?
No, I have it right here. Thursday. It's the Thursday. 1.2 billion to buy.
Why did I think that was Friday's
at
number?
At 3:30.
Okay, then I have a misconception.
I'm looking at Friday's number right now. Brett, okay, so Friday at this time was only 254 to buy. I'm seeing it right now, and then it came out 1.2.
That's right. Okay,
came out 1.2 billion, which is
it
actually
came.
disappointing.
Yeah, that is very disappointing.
I thought it would have been bigger, not knowing.
On an imbalance day, you're expecting things to be larger than normal.
Right.
So,
and that just made me to what today's was 24 million.
Gigantic.
So,
shout out to Willie May.
Oh my God.
We will just fuck a Charlie Stein.
That is a nothing burger. So I mean, Nvidia's trying to go, but with a very infinitesimal imbalance, a sell imbalance, I don't think this is going to move the needle. It's basically resisting yesterday's high. For 437.36 current high, that was a high yesterday. I mean Friday, obviously. So I'm going to go with, it's 13 minutes. If it was 347, I'd probably tighten the trailing stop right now. But I want to let it break this high, at least get a chance to break this high and continue to go. Coin is continuing to reject off of that high. It just wicked 58 again, so I'm still short this one. If it gets down to 57 even, I've probably taken half off anyways. VCIG is definitely running out of time, like I said, over and over again. Thoughts on Fitch? Farfetch? No volume. Not really moving, flat on the day. I don't know what to tell you with this one. So for a lot of these, it's like, okay, well, where's the ad at? Not even breaking 6 is interesting. I always just pull up like my 15 minutes to see if there's something like local going on, because the stock's in an upward trend. And when we've had Michael on before discussing like when something does this, right? So you get a nice little breakout, and then it gives you the consolidation off the break, then it breaks the high. Okay, so great, it's confirming the upward trend, but as a day trader, there's nothing happening. This is more of like a swing, like it's giving you a couple of swing entries off 5 maybe, and then I guess if you took a 6 break and you're giving it back in, I don't know, like $5. Yeah, but nothing for I don't see anything for the day trade here, unfortunately. But a good, nice upward trend since the middle of May when it started its breakout. As I mentioned, I did jump back into the Coinbase, to Coinbase when we got back under 28,000 on Bitcoin. It's rejecting 58, but we're now at 57.5. With 10 minutes to go till Imbalance is going to have to start taking some out there. And VCIG, bit of a disappointment. I think it's worth it when you take these shot plays, but really what you're looking for is that it just goes like 10% or like a buck or goes into some halts. Yeah. That's what it did earlier when it broke off 7. It's just not happening now. Probably going to have to start taking it out regardless of what it does.
The Madman had that one as soon as
the
day,
7 break.
Yeah, as soon as he came
Clean.
on, he was running that stock pretty good. So shout out to Max for that as well. You're going to see me do it right here live right now because I'm going to get out of Google. So just watching this, it's back up to the 200 period. We called this bounce numerous times, didn't take it. We only have a quarter of position left, so it's not huge. But right here, 36 break, we're going to get out. So there's a couple of the tops. This is just how I'm trading it, regardless of what I'm in right now. So we're in. We're going to make sure we take 20 cents, but it's not even about that. It's just like with the market coming to a close right now in 20 minutes, what's the point of waiting for huge dramatic moves, especially if it's going to go back against you and eat up your capital? No, thank you. So we'll rate there, not capital, but profits. 123.36. So I'm just going to go boom, boom. You're going to see me do this right now. 123.36. Get out of 100% of the position. Push enter, and now that order is now triggered in the platform to get out. All right, we have a very, very small piece left of AMD. I'll probably let this one go, but I'm gonna do the same thing again. This is 60s right there, right? So again, just cancel my other offers that I have on AMD. And what I'm doing right now is not gonna be entering in any new positions unless something does. Either Brendan breaks a story or something happens here in the market. You could see this. This is pretty much El Barcodo right now. Like if I was a superhero, El Barcodo, because this is barcoding and it's not doing anything. The futures are going to be flat here on the day. We started off on a down day. We went down, I think as much as half, maybe 0.6, something like that. Battled all the way back up and then just right here. And now we'll probably settle in the middle. So 118, sorry. 118, what is this? I honestly, I just want to do it to the penny because it's not going to matter that much. You don't have a full lot left. 62 right there. So we'll put that enter in, and then we'll just wait for that to go. And then other than that, Microsoft honestly just keeps on bouncing off the same levels. I'm going to hold this one. We were actually waiting for a lot more shares up here at 339. So this is a relatively small position anyways. And just because of how down Microsoft is today, I still think it retraces, man. So I don't even have any bids on this. Microsoft is one that I'm willing to watch. Hopefully hang out a little bit lower on that. So AMD targeted out, Google targeted out, and we're doing good, man. We had a good day today. We're on the green side of it. Tesla's roaring. Yeah, what's up? It's me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Holy, roar away. #1 name on the sticky note, and I'm happy with it. We're up on it. I'm not going to complain about it, but we missed that opportunity.
I just got shaken out of NVIDIA there. It touched 438, rejected it dead on, right at the even dollar. When I see an even dollar rejection, I typically, this late in the day also too, like I put my trailing stop at 437.5, the previous high. I get trailed out, and now it's back about 438. So this one just continues to moonshot. I'm gone. I'm done with it. My goodness, now it's just continuing to run. What a big move on NVIDIA. So that 36, you could have held it to 38. We have 7 minutes till the imbalances come through. I don't think I'll put anything new on. It's going to be, will Coinbase hold beneath 58? Will VCIG do something? Right now it is basically determined to do absolutely nothing. It's holding 7, which is, I guess, okay, but has to go at some point. Man, NVIDIA, I hate your guts. Meta was the other one. Like, we got away from Meta and that long in the afternoon. I just want to check my notes here as I'm watching NVIDIA. Where is Meta? Yeah, Meta was just fine in the long as well. It's back up, testing the high of the day, up at above 284. So Meta up 1.1% into a NASDAQ that is very, very slightly down. So we're just marginally to the downside on the NASDAQ, and that could change, especially with NVIDIA just flying now. Watch NVIDIA get to 440 right as the imbalances come out.
Probably.
Like a number like that, if it's at 440 or close to the even, where there's a scalp trade off the high, I would take that kind of a shot if you can play it off of 350, and then just have a hard stop at 440.01 or something like that, and then just try to go for like a tight stop short. Has to get there first. But man, we should have hung on to that long.
Yeah, that's. I'm always gonna. I mean, that Tesla long is obviously gonna haunt me for a bit. We'll wait for that. And by haunting me, I mean I'll be over it in about 17 minutes. Yeah, don't. You know, this is one obvious business where you do take your work home with you because you know you're always looking at levels and you're looking where can we make money tomorrow and so on and so forth. But you know, just stick with what you guys do best, man, and get a good routine. And that way, you know, you check the same sort of levels every day. You check your resources, and you sort of do all those, you know, checks before you go. AMD broke, we got out. Sorry, what?
Multiple people have asked in the chat, why is NVIDIA so strong? Can someone please explain NVIDIA?
Like the history of NVIDIA or in the last 10 minutes?
No, well, I think probably just in general, looking at the chart and the daily chart. So they're the play right now for AI that has given you actual numbers, and they have, I think the number was 80% of the addressable current like learning chip model, market.
Market, yeah.
And even AMD, like Lisa Su said, that's going from 30 billion to 150 billion in terms of a market till just 2024. So NVIDIA could lose, what is it, from 80% to 50% of market share in that time and still triple their revenues on that MIX
300 XI.
300 XI, whatever chip it is. So
300 Ponzi.
So it's just been going moonshot to the upside. That's all. And people have been chasing this move because they feel like they have to get in. Anyone that's missed out on the tech rally is like, well, how come you? I mean, I'm speaking metaphorically as if I was like someone managing money, and then they're getting calls probably.
Yep.
Why aren't you in this stock?
That's it.
Why
Yep.
don't you own NVIDIA? Why don't you own Microsoft? And the response has been that money that's coming into the sidelines and chasing the move on NVIDIA.
Right.
It's not a short squeeze. There's a chance there's some gamma squeeze going on here. I only made that guess based on the way the daily chart looks. Because the daily chart looks like Tesla when it made its first run to 1,000, which was insane. And if you come to my daily chart for a second, guys, it is going again. Like how many times are you just gonna climb to the upside? I can probably pull it back a little bit further. This was a $100 stock, and now we're probably on a run for like 450. I think 450, the day it gets there, it's going to be a crowded. There's a lot of day traders going to like that in both directions. There's going to be some 449-ish shorts, and there's going to be some people waiting for that break to the upside because those levels have been fantastic. I'm just in the two trades. I suppose VCIG is not going to do anything. With just 3 minutes to go till you get the imbalances. Yeah, this is even still going as Meta pulls back. So Meta was a strong name. Just to give you an idea, Meta was taking out the highs. It's already starting to pull back. Whereas you're seeing absolutely none of that with NVIDIA. It is just chase, 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 chase. And anyone that tries to short off the top, you better have yourself some outs and Meta's an impressive stock too. It's just not quite as parabolic off its last break than NVIDIA. But that's, wow, look at the line. That is gorgeous. That's a horrible line of best fit. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. But look at this, that's really bad. I meant to draw a line of best fit on the daily chart of Meta, and that was not a good one. But you can see, like it's just straight up 45 degrees.
On Meta. Wow. Yeah,
that's
that
a really
daily
bad
is,
line. I should retire from drawing lines of best fit.
Yeah, I tried to do that on Bitcoin there earlier, and sometimes the candles get a little out of whack right there. Okay, so it's a good thing we did get out of AMD. We got out of something else there. We talked about Google, and again, that just came out just now, so that's not really like a hero trade or anything like that on Google, as that just came out. We're just getting out in front of those imbalances, and if you're wondering why we keep on talking about them and what they mean exactly, this is what they are right here. All these imbalances are from the morning. You can see I can't actually zoom. Whoops. I actually see 930, 930, 930. So at 350, those will all blast up again, and then we'll see where sort of the strength is and the weakness lies. EVLO. There it is. So Palantir had a sell earlier on. Here comes Palantir back down a little bit right now. So we talked about where we'd like that one, breaking through 16 and 16 and change right there. That's 16 flat, and then the VWAP still needs to get broken for me, and that didn't happen yet either. So we'll wait to see where we're going with.
Can I just a question?
Yes.
So there was someone just asked me in the chat, will I hold VCIG overnight? A, we cannot do that. At Day Trade the World, we are day trading this position no matter what happens to the stock. I've got to be out by 4 o'clock. B, I wouldn't. It's not a squeeze play, but it's just a low float runner that's already pulled back. The fact that it's holding 7, probably strong. And if it's above 7, maybe I'll look for longs when I sit down tomorrow. And at the open, I think it can still be available for another run higher. Maybe it has a day 2, or technically it would be day 3, because it went from 250 to 370 on Friday. I didn't even realize that. So that's a big enough move to call this day 2. Maybe it has a day 3 run in it, but that'll be a separate trade. We're always going to be out. And as I said, I'm also even going to, I haven't tightened up my stop. I did on Coinbase. I'm tightening up the stop on VCIG as well. I'm now not even giving it to that underneath VWAP. I'll probably just give it to 7 even, and then I'll tighten it up again at 355. It doesn't feel like it wants to go, unfortunately. That's just how it is sometimes. Would have been nice if it had ran. I'll get to Coinbase in a second, but let me just drop my stop in there. Yeah, so I'm stopping out underneath $7 here on VCIG.
Is that over to Brendan?
I heard something.
Me? Okay, I didn't do it yet, but we do have, I don't have the graphic up or anything like that, but we do have Day Trade the World Campus is starting up again, so make sure Neil's gonna get that graphic. You can, you probably don't have something that shows me and for him right there. There it is right there. So what's in it for you? Well, you can see right there, joining an exclusive community of like-minded individuals. And I think that's one thing that's really helped many traders is being on a floor and listening to other people. Not that, there are gonna be some remote opportunities. You can, insert your name there, get started, hit the apply now, trade real money and gain real experience before you actually done graduating and things like that while you have some spare time on campus. And again, Neil and I had that opportunity to open up a campus office with great success. So that's just another example right there. Try to get it going, man. Start your career in capital markets today with Day Trade the World Campus. So hit that QR code in the bottom right, and yeah, let's go on that one. There's a lot of traders behind us, of course, that have just started their journey as well. And you could join a Day Trade the World office, period. Yep. Today, and that's just one example right there with the Day Trade the World Campus. But with that being said, we do have the imbalances that just came out right now.
And
I'm just going to assume that Brendan's made a typo.
That is
because
absurd.
It's 11 million to buy.
That's actually the smallest. Have we ever seen smaller than that?
11? Like I said, I thought it was a typo, but it's not. I'm just joking. But that's, yeah, it's pretty low.
I don't know if I've seen.
We just got stopped out of Microsoft, by the way, as that went back up to the upside. We tried a 339, Phil. That didn't work out. Obviously, there's been some NASDAQ buys here. As there goes NASDAQ. This is why we literally stop ourselves out, ahead of all this. Because what's the point? There goes the NASDAQ on something that has nothing to do with any sort of positions that we're in at that time. Like, that's why, like,
Holy
look.
NVIDIA.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you get out of AMD right there, save yourself 30, 40 cents, right? Get out of Google, that didn't really move too much. Get out of Softy on that first break, it just went up to 339. But again, get them out here knowing, and not add to the position, knowing that we do have this number to come out. So is Tesla a bid? Because what's that doing? Is that just keeps on squeezing higher? Wowie, man, 275 now. What a beast, Tesla. What's up with you?
Oh, just remember we were kind of joking around. I wasn't really joking about it, but remember I said if at
450.
If you went to 440 at 350 though.
Okay.
On the imbalance number, if it got to 440, you just like put like a tight stop short. I'm not going to get it now, so it doesn't matter. Let me just cancel those. So NVIDIA got to 439.90. That's your short. You give it the even dollar stop, and bingo, yeah, yada, yada, yada. You have yourself a winning trade. But you put it on the first time. You're risking more than 10 cents. Even if you get 90, it's very unlikely you're going to get a fill of 440 breaks at 01s. You're likely slipped at least 20 cents. But that would have worked out. So I'm just a little frustrated. If I had sat on the offer, I would have got it. Instead, I'm trying to get out of coin. It's just sliding to the downside. It's in the money, but it's not really flushing. Part of that is likely because, yeah, you're making a higher low and finding some support really close to 28,000 on Bitcoin. VCIG is certainly not moving. Only 7 minutes to go. I got to respect it. Like, why? At this point, I'm not even giving it to 7 even anymore. I just keep moving my stop in. So that'll be now at 720. Like, I'm gonna tighten it up the one last time, and I'm probably just gonna start taking it out on the first available pop.
I got back into Microsoft, but I'm in it way too early. I'm just thinking that at 3:55 when these numbers update, these things will flip the other way. So I was going to give I am giving Microsoft to that high. Shoot. Oh, we almost got stopped. I don't know. It just went up there. We did not get stopped out, but we should have. We not should have, but we will. If there's a 11, if there's an 11 or 12 print here that happens, we will get stopped out. I just thought I was being cute a little bit when it pulled back down. I was like, okay, let's just get into it using these highs because the NASDAQ also wicked higher there. So I was like, okay, maybe that little number, which was nothing, again, brought it to the upside, and then at 3:55 it will pair off, and okay, now it's starting to pay dividends a little bit here. It's only 10 cents, but we do have a position on, so we could take something out, and then we'll wait for a little one, a much bigger move, obviously to the downside here if we can get that. So there we go. We'll take 12 cents or 11 cents on that, and then wait for more. But yeah, I was just going short against that. So this one is like basically 15 cents worth of risk, what am I short at, 92, 11s, 19 cents worth of risk there on this trade. Hopefully it can pay out down here into the 60s or 70, giving us that like 2-to-1 sort of trade here into the close. But we only have to hold out for one more minute. Please hold out for one more minute.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I was in it too early. I feel very lucky that we never got stopped out already.
But Microsoft, at least
silly,
at 355, Microsoft matters. I'm in coin, which it never has an imbalance, so 355 is not going to help me at all. So I'm actually covering more in front of 57 even. Let's go to Brennan at the desk.
With that guy, Trader Prad is in the building. It is day number 1 of a brand new stream that we're very proud of and very excited for, coming up just after the close. No one go anywhere. Trader Prad, tell us why.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to look at all the stuff that moved around today, the catalyst behind why they moved around. Maybe there's some plays on said plays or said stocks and said movers to take advantage of tomorrow. Any stocks that move in the after-hours session, maybe like the earnings. I know earnings session is a little bit dead right now, but we got FedEx coming up tonight, so we're going to look at FedEx and get ready for the next trading day, which is tomorrow.
Recap, review, and get you set for tomorrow.
Yes.
Should be exciting. Coming up at just after we finish, guys, just after the bell with Trader Prad. Don't go anywhere.
But right now, holy shoot. There we go. We are going to finish the day at our highest spot. Why? Because we're $1 in the money now on Microsoft. That made a lot of sense to me, man, what we were talking about right there. This is a 10-to-1. You want an R? You want
another one.
R to R here? Some risk to reward ratio bullshit? Well, there it is right now. Here's $1 in the money against 15 cents. So there it goes. We talked about this trade all the way down. Now we have a very small piece left, but we just made $1 on Microsoft in a minute. So that's just one of those things where they took our lunch there, and then we just bullied them right back and got that again. So here it comes right down to the downside now. We're going to finish the day at our highest spot we've been at all day. So there it goes, man. Yes, what's up to Dan Emmons as well? I am watching the clock, my friend. Trust on that. We're going to get out. I mean, we're almost out. That's why when this bled through, I was just like, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it. So all the way to the downside right now. I don't know what day the Bears are going to eventually win, but they maybe today, but this is not a win, man. I feel like this market still has some more downside, so I am pretty biased to the short. But I'm going to get out if we take out 338.20 right now and then be done with Microsoft, as it looks like it's going to happen right now.
It's hard to say the Bears won today. When the market recovering back to flat when it looked like it was that bad in the NASDAQ, this is what it looks like on the NASDAQ. I know it's down, but really, like, since when things settled down in the morning, it was buy, and then you're closing closer to the highs of the day. I'm almost all out of Coinbase. It's now holding on to 57, so the 58 does give you back into 57 pretty solidly. And then I said this on VCIG. You know, if it doesn't go, you just got to get out of it. We can't hold it overnight. It's holding the line, which is great, but that's not going to do anything. When you got 2 minutes to go, I'm just going to punch out of it now. I think it was worth the shot. I think we come back to this one tomorrow and maybe get a bit of a day 2 play on VCIG. And maybe this is something Prad looks at. Every now and then, these low float, high flyer, squeeze type names can make, quite frankly, aftermarket moves. That's worth watching. It's not just about things that have earnings. You can look for some of these like small cap, low float, highly shorted names to look for opportunities the next day. If this makes another run, maybe takes out some highs, we can come in tomorrow, another gap up, and have a quick look at it. Otherwise, it's just going to be coin. I'll give it till maybe like 359 right at the close. It's in the money, so I want to see if it can break 57 even, which the short has not been able to do since it broke up. Right at the beginning of the show, it actually took this 57 out. Now it's double topped at 58. Strong move in Bitcoin, which is continuing. I keep talking about it, but it just continues to hold right at that 28,000 mark. If this even wants to full screen it.
I was looking at Bitcoin too.
Now this is frozen on. Okay, that's great. Now this is.
It is
frozen.
holding it though.
It is holding very close to 28,000. Trust me, 27.94 on BTC.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
really.
Binance chart.
Yeah, I just use this cryptowatch.ch. Like, I
gotta
have
use
no
something else.
idea what this is.
I gotta use
but there it is right here. So like Neil said, this is again a barcode, what's happening with Bitcoin right now. So not much there. So you look at Coinbase and Mara and all that stuff. GBTC, another one, well traded. And there it is, man. We get out of that one. We'll ring the register. We'll spin the money with only a minute and a quarter left before we throw over to Pratt at the big desk, which is going to be exciting, man. We'll think of some good names. Maybe you guys, that could be something fun that will come naturally to this closing show. Pratt will have guests on there. I'm sure Neil and myself will stay at some point. Brendo,
yeah,
all that kind of
for
stuff.
sure at some point.
At some point, we'll do all that, and then so on and so forth. That's if this show lasts more than a week, right, Brad?
Oh, it'll be fine. Oh, I forgot to mention, you guys get Maximilian tomorrow. I'm at my daughter's.
Yes,
I'm at my
yes,
daughter's.
yes.
It's a year-end assembly, so they do like a concert there. So I want to make sure I check that one out.
course.
She's going from kindergarten to grade 1. So her last one, it was great last year. So I want to see it. Thank you, Mr. Westermeyer. The GOAT is Josh Allen, my friend. That's who the GOAT is, the greatest of all time. No, he's not really. Jim Kelly's the GOAT. But yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you.
That's 3 quarterbacks you said. You've already said Brady.
Okay, fine. Tom Brady's the GOAT. You know what I mean when I say that Jim Kelly and Josh Allen are the GOATs. That's me being... I have no idea what just happened to Greg, but we're going to go to Kat. There's only 10 seconds left. It's on for the
I think he
countdown.
stubbed his toe or something, it sounded like right there.
He just yelled and screamed and called something horrible names. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. There is the bell. Kat looking very judicial today. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Very judicial. What's the verdict on the markets here, Brett?
Good one. I like that throw.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Hi. Yeah, let's get a look at how things, I was just waiting for the final prints to come through. Here we go. Red board, unfortunately, 0.5% for the S&P, about 0.72 there for the Dow. The Russell, all 3 of them, red all day. We saw initial weakness, big time, for some of the regional banks. They did bounce a little later in the day, but still 0.3 there for the Russell 2000. NASDAQ almost got there, almost. I was waiting for the final prints, but negative 0.09, guys, for the NASDAQ.
Oh, amazing. I don't know where we're going to go on this market. I mean, it doesn't look like the Bears are going to be winning anytime soon, but I still feel like there's a day that something's going to happen. There's going to be a story that breaks somewhere. I'm looking for that. I don't know where that's going to be. I was net short most of the day. Today we did have Tesla long. Other than that, I'm just looking at my trades right now. I think we were short everything today, and we finished at the highest we were at, so it's been pretty good. For that, I still feel like, Neil, this is a stock picker's market. You have to pick the right names. Some of those high-flying names.
To wager a guess, something along the lines of, like, imagine one of the AI flying companies with one of the bigger names comes out with some kind of a pullback on their next guidance, like any kind of an update.
Yes.
A single sign of weakness
from
NVIDIA before earnings season. Has to happen before earnings season, like on NVIDIA, Google, or Microsoft. If one of those names gives you some sign of weakness, I think that could really have a huge negative effect on the market. But until then,
you just have to wait till insiders sell NVIDIA, because then you'll know that the pyramid has reached the top.
Everyone's still chasing the move right now.
Yeah,
you go with the flow.
Okay, thank everybody today, obviously, with Bears versus Bulls there. Ramin, thank you so much for over there. Thanks, Fabian, Mark, Rob, everybody that's going. Max, Prad, Sharif.
Yes.
But yeah, we're excited now, Brendo. So I don't know, I guess I could just wrap it up, and we'll see everybody, the 3 of us, tomorrow at 8:30. So we'll say ciao for now, but let's flip it over to Prad. Go get him, Tiger.
Brad.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. The brand new show, the After the Close. We're going to be here every day after 4, covering everything that moved around throughout the day, the reasons why they moved around, looking for some trades off of this. That's the most important part. That's what we're here for, right? Finding some trades, making some money on it, and putting it in our pockets, hopefully. We have a long list. Obviously, some of these stocks come from our watch list that we send out every single morning at 8 o'clock. If you aren't signed up to that watch list yet, go sign up to that